North American stock futures pointing to another muted session coming up this morning as we bounce back a little bit here off of yesterday's declines. A little bit of underlying weakness we saw for the fourth straight day at the end of the session yesterday. That all followed, obviously, Friday's jobs number, the non-farm payroll number that came out worse than expected. We got the weekly jobless claims number out here at 8:30. A little bit of a miss on that as well. 310,000 versus 335,000 on that, again, initial jobless claims number from last week in the U.S. Overall, again, market's pretty muted. As of the close yesterday, the Dow down slightly. We had the S&P down about 0.13% at the end of the day, both in the red still for the week and the month. But again, it has been pretty muted. Individually this morning, a number of early movers, including GameStop, obviously, the big one. We're going to talk about the earnings report trading in negative territory for GameStop and Lululemon. The opposite direction, a big time move to the upside this morning for Lulu. It is Thursday, September 9th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. As mentioned, pretty flat to kick things off once again. You can see the S&P leading the way to the downside ever so slightly, 0.12%. Everything else relatively unchanged. Crude oil bouncing back again this morning, 0.5% to the upside. Brazil Open trading higher. Remember, it was down almost 4% yesterday. So trying to claw back some of those games. Crypto, or declines, I should say. Cryptocurrencies back in the red this morning as well, ever so slightly. Ethereum did have a nice day yesterday, 3+% to the upside. We're lower, about a full percent once again this morning. Good morning, guys. It's Thursday. Arun in for Neil, as we mentioned yesterday, late in the day. Neil enjoying the first day of school for his daughter, the first ever day of school for his daughter. So enjoy, Neil. It's strange here in Toronto. They're doing it on a Thursday, I guess. I mean, it's been a long time since I was obviously in school. Sean, maybe you know better. Is that normal?
No, I don't think it's normal. I mean, I don't know why the TDSB actually this time around decided to go with a Thursday opening, but I know that Neil's also in Peel. But there's a few boards that opened up on Tuesday. So I believe Randy's kids are in school. Halton, I think? Durham, they're in school. Today too. So anyways, yeah, random opening. Glad to have Arun back with us today. The thing about it, like, Neil's off today, so that's great. But like, you just drop your kid off at school, and then I don't know what he's going to do for the next 8 hours. But very, very, very nice to have that. And it's obviously a great experience for a family and a father. So, you know, my kids are in school now, and I'm wishing them just as much luck as I wish all of your kids and everybody's families out there. But those of you that are holding GameStop shares through that earnings report, you may not be too happy. We're down now 9% here today. And it's not the end of the world. I mean, we were just barcoding up here. We talked about a big move. I said, you know, if there was something drastic that came through, we could retest this area here, 150, 160. It doesn't. Oh, come on, like my chart's on GameStop, but my thing isn't. But we are still right now at that 50-period moving average. So I still think there's some resistance coming up here for GameStop. We've written down on our sticky note. We'll see what happens here today. But, you know, no guidance, not really helping that story too much. And the bottom here is 180.50. We wrote down 177.50 as a possible bottom, and we'll explain that. But Arun, how are you today, my friend?
It's been nice, you know, to get back into my routine. But, you know, once in a while, it's nice to kind of step back in here and just kind of make some trades on screen and whatnot. It's been different, and I appreciate all the love that I am getting from the show. I'll be here in and out for the next week or so, and from there on out, guys, I'm here to give you guys future stuff, and hopefully today we get a trade on the futures because it is moving quite a bit. Even though we are kind of somewhat flat, the movement overnight has been quite aggressive. Both directions, downside, upside. We'll talk about it when we get to it. But for now, let's go to Brendan with some stocks.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see how this plays out. A little more negativity coming in of late here. GameStop to the downside, as Sean was mentioning as well. It was a case of, I was reading last night, it was a case of almost there was nothing. There was no forecast. There was no mention of a plan of any sort going forward as far as restructuring. So yeah, we'll dig into GameStop a little bit more coming up here. Before we do that, let's get over to Miss V at her new spot once again this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, team. I wish you a great trading day. All the luck to you. Have a profitable day. And of course, don't forget to like this video. Let's get it started, Brandon.
If you missed it yesterday, let's get it started. Memes and Movers back, guys, daily at 11 a.m. So catch Miss V and Trader Prad every day at 11 a.m. When we wrap up, we go right over to Memes and Movers, so don't miss out on that. And then we're back, obviously, every day at 3 p.m. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. We do this every single day that the market is open. Let's get into it, guys, because lots to kind of dig through here, lots to, I guess, decide on as far as what we're going to do this morning, specifically with GameStop. We'll talk a little bit about some of these other meme stocks, if you want. Coming up here as well. If you remember late in the day yesterday, we had a bit of a move in AMC shares. There were some strange happenings on Twitter with regards to a possible combination between the two. I think it was all just, Twitter talk. There was no mention of anything when it comes to AMC in the call for GameStop after the earnings report yesterday. So first look here, guys. What do we think of this GME move?
Well, I mean, I was sitting here trading it with you, Brendan, yesterday at 3:00 p.m. Shout out to Miss V there on that one. And yeah, I mean, we started going up on that. I think it was Liz Clayman there from Fox, well, not I think, I'm pretty sure it was, from Fox Business News, and then Steve Gasparino, I guess, and her went back and forth talking about that maybe it wasn't the truth that there was some sort of a partnership coming through with GME and AMC. I thought maybe we'd hear about that on the call, but we didn't, so I guess there isn't much. That was this sort of rumor here that started to get going there. We finally punched long through the high of the day. We missed the whole trade. We got long at the end of it, and then able to take out a little bit of profit, got long again there, and then we had to dump the last bit once we broke through VWAP, but we did have some nice longs earlier. AMC was a positive stock for us yesterday, so we will look to rinse and repeat it again. You do have some levels here, obviously on the downside, 45, 46.80 or so. Sorry, 45.80 downside there on AMC, but you're down that 2%, and it's catching some slack here. This is a 20-minute chart from GameStop, right? So we do have that to worry about a little bit in meme land here today. But again, I'm not sure these stocks are super memey anymore. I mean, we have to talk about them with real levels. These stocks are moving around. They make sense. They move with news. Like you saw that from Fox Business yesterday. You know, this bottom here is very interesting to me, 43, 44. I mean, we're only at 46, so it takes a couple more percentage points before we get down there. As far as like multi-day breaks and stuff like that, there isn't much here. I really like this 48 break. I've taken it when it's happened. It's been good. We've been shorting in front of it. It's been some nice levels. We've topped up at 49. So right now, I kind of feel like for AMC, Brendan and Arun here, I mean, maybe we'll get Arun's thought on it or on GME, whatever you want. But AMC right now is kind of just stuck in no man's land. And I don't really have too much of a trade here. This is a 20-minute chart, and I don't see much, honestly, happening on AMC. It was a nice day yesterday when we had that run, then a nice day at the end before pulling back in. So I don't know. 45, I mean, there's some levels here, 45.50 or so might be something to look at. So we'll see if AMC can get down to 45.50, and that's where we'll look to go long.
Yeah, for me, I'm looking at GME, and I was looking at this 180 level. As you were talking, Sean, we were sitting in front of 180. We broke 180. There was a cross down through 180 and all the way down into the 178, high 178. So 180 is gone now, and I just want to wait to see the reaction here because there's potential trades. You could either try to look for a bounce if this 180 can hold. If this 180 can't hold, I think you got to open the door for shorts, and I'm open to the idea of it. I just want to see some more trading done. It is the pre-market. It doesn't take a whole lot to move markets at this point. So in these kind of stocks, anyways. So I'm going to wait to see how we react here. If we can't get enough buying, or even if we get buying it, that can't be held. I think you've got to take the idea of a potential short on the table there. You put it on the table for GME at least. Breaking to the downside for now. We'll come back to this maybe in about 5-10 minutes and see how we react then.
Actually, just come back here just real quick. I just wanted to show you guys, I just called up a 10-minute chart here. And I mean, look at all the executions we've had, even just from the 30th, 31st. I mean, we've been trading AMC, and there's not one of these is a short. like I've been saying, all of these have been longs here on AMC that we've battled through. It's always nice when the green is below the red. This was a good day right there, that's for sure. And then we had another hit off right there, and then some nice longs here. This was a choppy day. Good yesterday, or sorry, good the day before, good yesterday. This was a good one, man. This 46 break right to the upside. But now that I look at this, I'm actually going to take away these fills because that's not important. I just sort of wanted to show you guys kind of the trading that we've been doing on AMC, and that it's been a busy one. Now that I have a 10-minute chart up, though, I'm looking, and yeah, it's maybe this 44.50 area here. Let's see if AMC travels down this low. I don't want to touch 45.50 again because of GameStop, and we will get into that right now. But this area looks very, very interesting to me. 44.50. So let's sit around here, man, like 44.60, 44.70. See if we can't pick something up, and then if we have to use 44 as our out, we'll do that. But I think there'd be some support here around 44.50 area for AMC. So now that it's coming back down here, we don't. I mean, like Arun just mentioned. You know how many minutes there are? I mean, this is a cheat because it's 8:40, but we can just do the simple math. Right. But we still have 50 minutes, Arun and Brendan, until we open up here. So let's not put it on too much risk. I do have Ford on right now. It's not showing on the position board, but once I get another fill, then it will show. If we get a fill before the show comes on, it doesn't show,
really?
Right? So
I thought I tested the system this morning.
Well, then it should be showing my position, but I am long in Ford. Anyways, AMC, guys, 44.50, Brendan.
All right, a lot of people talking about this support.com as well. I'll show you this headline, guys, coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow there's a big investor vote on a combination with this Greenbridge Generation Holdings. We'll talk more about this coming up, but support.com on the watch list this morning as well. Far more active than it has been over the past couple of days. Greenbridge Generation Holdings in the power space when it comes to blockchain services. So that should be an interesting one to watch tomorrow. Again, an investor vote for that one. A few other earnings names to talk about this morning. This is one that gives you a trade every once in a while, specifically when earnings are out. And I'm speaking of Boston Brewing. Sam in New York down big time this morning, 8.5%. Big $500 stock, but I mean, more interesting, we bounced off 500 even, almost to the number here aftermarket yesterday, guys, but pretty negative looking daily chart, pretty negative report as well for Sam.
Yeah, I'll get to Sam because I was actually looking at that at 500 as well. Support.com though, let's just go to this real quick. This is going to be one of those hot movers that everyone's talking about. So 25 even, I was actually looking at this morning when we were up there. We were trading up there for a bit and I was just waiting. I was waiting to go long actually. If we can actually just get back above 25 even and stabilize a little bit, catch some bids, absorb some selling, then we really have a chance to get going. But as you can see, it has failed here twice now. You're not seeing it in the aftermarket yesterday because I don't have that session put up here. But there was this exact same move in the aftermarket session yesterday and then the pre-market session this morning. That 25 is going to be critical here when we open. If we can get above there and stay, I think you really have a chance to get this thing expanding towards the upside. And of course, the support point I'm going to use is 22 even. Let's zoom this out here. Why 22? Because we've got some resistance going back a couple days, some resistance in the morning yesterday, or resistance there yesterday, and then we broke through all of that in the late session. So here we are. If we come back down there and we're able to get 25 on the upside, I think 22 could be your stop. But again, 25 has to go for that to happen.
Actually, just looking at that support, I actually really like that 25.50 break there on the high side. Arun, so good call on that one. I had no idea. I mean, did Boston Beer Company here, or no, this is Sam actually. Yeah, Sam. Okay, Boston Beer Company. Yeah, Samuel Adams. I was going to say Sam Adams. Like, what is the thing there? Okay, so you can see here. I mean, obviously a disastrous print for them, down 9%, very similar to GameStop. But like, is this the truth here? Like, did something? I mean, normally we don't show reverse splits or anything like that on here, but this is $1,400 in April, down to $500 right now. So I'm not sure if I've missed something with this stock or what exactly has happened, but I doubt that it's been chopped a third here. Let me know if I'm missing something. Yeah, Sam Adams is a great decision. When I actually went to Boston, Fenway Park, this is dating myself probably 15 years ago. Yeah, we definitely enjoyed some Sam Adams there. It's everywhere in Boston, but Massachusetts, I guess. But yeah, did we miss something here? I'm not even sure.
not seeing a split.
I'm not sure what happened here. But Boston Beer Company all the way to the downside. So look, if you're going to look for some levels, I mean, it's just been a horrible trade for them. There's a $4 spread here, and I don't know that much about the report. Kind of caught me off guard here, as you can see. I had no idea about this move here on that name, but. You know, when this kind of a flush happens, I'm always looking to go longer. So more work needs to be done on Sam Adams because honestly, man, had really no idea about all of this.
It's the second report in a row, it would appear as well. Because if you go back to July, guys, the July report, I guess it was, this thing went from 950, this is a daily chart, so 950 up here all the way down to 700. On that earnings, on monster volume, it's worth mentioning as well. So here we are, the very next quarter. It looks like they're missing again. So another move to the downside. But yeah, I mean, 1350 down to 900 before that happened anyway. So we'll keep an eye on Sam here coming up as well. RH was the other one, formerly Restoration Hardware, now RH. They also reported not a lot of volume here in the pre-market. I want to mention some of the cannabis names. Rahim Alani coming up here in a few minutes. We're going to talk about some Canadian, primarily Canadian cannabis names that have been in the M&A space over the past couple of weeks. But he is not in the building yet, Sean, so we'll get to him when he does arrive. But wanted to get your take on Tilray here, on some of the other big ones that have been a little bit sleepy over the past couple of weeks. Do we start to see a little more attention coming back into that space now?
You know what? I'm going to say no. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know where cannabis is going right now, to be honest with you. Like, I really thought CGC would have been going by now. We talked about why I think that they're the best acreage holdings. They have, you know, again, in all aspects of it. We know the MSOs, the multi-state operators, like a True Leave has been a good one as well. But I mean, this is the daily chart, unfortunately, and I'm sad about it because here in Canada, most people are invested somewhere at least into cannabis or marijuana because it was all the talk. This is like 4 or 5 years ago, and that was the key, right? There's a lot of hype around nothing, it seems like right now. CGC, look at this. I mean, I'm not going to say all-time lows because I remember I was actually long this thing originally around $6, which is even late. I mean, I had friends in this thing sub $1 and things like that. We ripped up to $55, $56 here in February, and that was, wow, amazing. Like, just to think that February is only now, you know, 7 months ago. I mean, and look where we are right now. We're down, like, that's $54 to 16. I thought they were selling more weed, not less. So I honestly, I can't figure out what's going on with some of these names. Canopy just continues to go to the downside. I can't keep saying to you guys, this is worth buying here, because I was thinking it was worth buying around here at $18 at this kind of a bottom. And now you're all the way back down. Now, CGC's had a different daily chart than this because we switched over from New York to NASDAQ, right? So that's what that looks like. But right now we're to the downside. You mentioned Tilray. Tilray, of course, took over Afria, and you know, they merged together. I shouldn't say takeover, but that was a merge. Okay. Bear with me here. Charts devils are in us again. And Tilray, the same thing, right down here at 12. This one maybe looks a little bit better because we do have some support down here. But look, I mean, until these states start to legalize marijuana in more mass, I know there are states right now that obviously have it legalized. Federally, though, it's a no-go. And until that does happen, you're going to get hedge funds not being in it. You're going to have, hedge funds, mutual funds, you know, federal, until you get the approval on the federal level, you're not going to get the investments into cannabis that we need as bag holders here. So for me, unless there's an exciting name that I'm missing, I mean, we always look at SNDL. That's yeah, I was going to say, when that gets around $1, that's 73 cents right now, and that's in a whole lot of trouble as well. I mean, even from $1.50, I mean, forget about, again, we can always look back here to February. That's when memes were going crazy, up to $4. But even if you look at some of these recent highs for SNDL, you're still chopped in half, man. Like 190 down to 72. This recent high, 150 down to 72. And even then, you're right on these bottoms. So I can't find a good name, man. I mean, Scott's Miracle-Gro Generation brands, they're all heading to the south side as well. So I don't know what to say about this spot here. And I don't know if you've looked at anything, Arun, but right now, marijuana, and we can hit some funky things because Weed Batman right now, if you're in the building, you may want to hide because your stocks aren't doing too well.
Yeah, we'll just leave it with what you said because I really haven't looked into many of those stocks at all. We'll go back to Brendan, find another stock to talk about.
Peloton here, guys. A headline just coming out here on Peloton. PTON, they're launching. This was rumored going back a couple of months ago that this was coming, but they've launched a private label apparel brand. Not a heck of a lot of volume here in the pre-market. There was a little bit of a pop on that announcement, but back above 98. I mean, speaking of support, you know, we're right here for Peloton.
Yeah, I don't look. People are asking like, this is a bad market for cannabis. I don't understand. I don't understand why this is a bad market for cannabis right now. I mean, I know obviously if we're talking about money coming out of names and people being fearful of the overall market, then fine. I can believe that, and I think there's other names that have been getting hit on that rhetoric as well. But I mean, we've seen some of the cannabis. You know what? I'm going to find a cannabis ETF that I like, and then I'm just going to talk about that because some of these individual names, I have no idea what's going on. I feel like there should be more profits in this space than there is right now. But okay, we'll wait on that. Peloton, all right. So right now, news coming out there on Peloton, you know, to the downside, not really. It's up 1.3%. So we'll see what's happening right now. This is a 10-minute chart. We do have some nice levels. I mean, I always love a $100 break. So there could be that coming on Peloton, 99, 98. Again, the market up that 0.8%. I like Peloton. I think Peloton's going to be a good play for the Christmas season. I think they've just dropped the bikes like $500 or $600. That's because they have new models out, so that always seems to happen. But the thing about it is, you've seen what's Lulu, and I'll just talk about it right now. I think Peloton's going to have pricing power, and what I mean by that is that their product. And again, you know, whether or not you believe in the subscription model or not, I believe the bike is a pretty strong product. I've only really heard great things about the build, about the quality, so on and so forth of Peloton bikes. So just like Lululemon, I think they have pricing power. I think people will upgrade their bikes when and if they need to. And I also think people will get in now at the lower price points. And when that happens, once you buy, it's just like, this is not Apple Watch, but it's just like Apple Watches, and me and Arun talked about this last time. Once you're in sort of that environment and Apple's got you, the next thing you know, you're subscribing to everything and you're buying more of their products. So Peloton has expanded their offering. I like Peloton here at some of these levels. We know what happened in May and some of these drop-offs there where they had an unfortunate accident, or a couple of them, I guess, with some infants and pets and stuff like that. I'm laughing just because it's not funny, but getting stuck underneath treadmills and whatnot. So Peloton did have to, I believe they pulled some of those and fixed up that problem. But right now, Peloton, look at this level, man. 98, 95. I mean, that's a good level if you believe in the story that I just said. I think people buy this into Christmas.
I mean, it's a great Christmas gift for anyone who can afford it. I think that's a critical thing here. They're priced at the high end, so this is definitely a top tier fitness accessory above what the market average would be. So if you're going to go into it, you're going for not just fashion. It's more than just exercise. It's more fashion. It's more status, whatever you want to call it. So is this something that's worth it for those for the people that are willing to purchase and put in the money for it? Because then you also have to pay for essentially what is a gym membership as well, because it's subscription based as well, right? After, so you got to buy the product and pay monthly as well on top of that. What kind of interest do you get? I feel like at some point you run out of market. You saturate your market. You have to expand. You have to bring in lower price points and whatnot, and that's up to them to figure out. But for now, though, in terms of pricing, they got to get back above 100. We've been stuck below 100 for a while now. If we can actually just go sideways and break back up, you have a chance to actually get going on the upside in terms of the technical side of things. But for now, as long as we stay 100, it's going to be hard for this thing to actually get going. You see this around 101, 102, stalls out. This is a 30-minute chart. You see the trend going back to late August, and we have just been kind of creeping our way down from 105, now underneath 100. If we can get back above 100, we have a chance to get back into that resistance point, 102, 103, and then we have to slowly work our way back up to actually get this thing going back to the upside. But for now, it does look like the trend is to the down, and 100 seems to be the closest resistance point that they have to worry about.
All right, we're going to get into some of these Chinese stocks moving around again this morning. I want to mention DD Global here quickly, trying to hold at yesterday's low, basically to the number here. We tested this 880 level yesterday. As a group, worth noting, this kind of Chinese stocks group that we've been talking about over the past couple of weeks, down, in and around 2%, 2.5%, even 3%. in some cases. There was more negative talk from regulators yesterday surrounding sharing, car sharing and trip sharing apps and companies yesterday. But this 880 level, guys, is pretty key here. I think a bit of a pivot for DD Global. Did all kinds of volume yesterday, but I mean, pretty quiet here in the pre-market.
Yeah, we're going to talk now about DD because I think you're right, Brandon. We need to find stocks that are moving a little bit and have some key levels, whether or not it's quiet in the pre-market or not. It's still only 8:54, so we still have that 35 minutes to go. This is what I put out. Those of you asking, you don't get to see my sticky notes because you don't have Twitter. I mean, just open up a burner account. I don't know if you can, I mean, I'll put this in the chat right now. Please follow and message me if you have any questions about any of these levels. Actually, it's hard for me to check them while we're on the show, but I can try to do it after the show. I know that might not be much help. But here we go, DD Global right here. Multi-day low break there of 875, and it was yesterday, and it goes back a little bit as well, back down to the rate here to the 30th, I believe it was. No, sorry, the 2nd. We did have that basically the same level of 875. So that's what I'm using. Brendan's right. Yesterday's level was about here, 880, 878 or so. I'm going to go back to 875 right now. DD had a nice little run off some of these bottoms, but we've talked about that again over and over again, and that is that the Chinese government trying to become, common investors and things like that. It's not going to be good for business, man. And that's, been the case so far with DD. It's down near these bottoms. I like that break. This is a daily chart. It's not going to look too great on the daily chart, but we just did show you this level down here of 875. So yeah, man, I am a big seller of DD at 875. Ford starting to work for us now a little bit, breaking above that 13. So we definitely like that level as well. But DD right there, I like this level. Let's just see if there's anything on the imbalance locator. There often can be here. EDU, so that's going to be another Chinese educational name. I don't see DD on here, but I think we were talking about this, Arun, and when you were here with me last week, I know you and I both looked at DD. We didn't have much success with it, that's for sure. And I said that on the show yesterday, but are you looking at DD today? I like that 875.
I don't like the chart of DD, so I'm going to move away from DD, but I do like the chart of Baidu, though. If we're going to talk about Chinese companies that have been moving around quite a bit, Baidu's in that list as well, on top of Baba. Baba, I'm not even going to pull up the chart on Baba because it just gaps up and down every other day, and it's hard to make sense of it. At least with Baidu, there's some consistency in the move. So I'm going to pull up the Baidu chart. You hear this is a 30-minute chart, multi-day. I've zoomed it out. You see the session breaks. There's clearly support between 158 and 156. This is the area that you're going to work with if you're going for support. So if you want to catch a bounce here, potential support line could come in underneath 158. If we set up, I would use that long and use 155 and change as a stop. And if we go to the upside, this is going to be an interesting point here. If we get up into the 160 half, 161 area and start to kind of taper off a little bit, I think you then go for the short, put 163 on the stop, and then see if you can get this thing back down to 158. So it is in a nice location where you have two potential trades. Depending on which direction it goes, it could open up that side. So if it goes to the upside, you can open up the short. If it goes to the downside, it could open up the long. Just be aware that the Baidu does look like it's something that could be traded today. From all the stocks that I've looked at in that sector, I think Baidu has the best chart that I could work with for the day.
I don't want to leave Raheem for too long, but I just want to show everybody Bitcoin right now off to the races. What up to Shakib? They're mentioning this, and I was watching it as well. Same as Ethereum. So Bitcoin now just touched 45.6, and we just ripped up 45.6. Yeah. So we just ripped up $1,000 plus in just a couple minutes there, from 45.6 up to 46.8 right there on Ethereum, and basically the exact same chart looking like that's for Bitcoin. Ethereum, this is a 5-minute chart. So if we brought this down to a 1-minute chart, you're going to see, ooh, let's go. This is very, very similar. So it touches 3,400, and now you ripped up that $100 to 35.20 or so. So watch out, some of these cryptos on move. Let's go back over to the big desk with Brendan.
All right, guys, as promised, Raheem Alani, Managing Director of OCI Groups, back with us once again. Morning. Great to see you. Welcome back. We're going to jump into a few cannabis names. There's been all kinds. We've been discussing this over the past couple of weeks, and going back to the middle of the summer, there's been all kinds of M&A activity surrounding some of the smaller names in the cannabis group. We're going to discuss a few of them today, primarily listed here in Canada. As we, continue to see some of the bigger names, moving to the downside, as Sean was saying, there just doesn't seem to be any sort of catalyst that comes across as positive for any of these names. So we're seeing continued consolidation in this sector. So I mean, as a whole, give us your thoughts on where this group is.
I think it's an interesting time in the sector. Like we've talked about, I think going over the last probably year or two, there were going to be a few that were going to rise to the top, and there were going to be a few that were going to come to the bottom. There's going to be a few in the middle. And much like any other business in its infant days, you're going to have that, right?
Yeah.
That bifurcation between the largers and the smalls, and where everyone would flush out. And the larger ones, like you've seen, like Canopy and Tilray, are making acquisitions at first of a smaller nature, and now have gone up in size into larger acquisitions. So that's something that we've continued to see. And the multi-state operators in the U.S. are really sort of a hot commodity for anyone that wants to be in the U.S. market, because states are starting to roll out at an increased level. There's more productivity, more production, and more purchasing happening in the states. So those ones that have the U.S. touch points are really going to see potentially an uplift in stock price as they announce sales and we go into further reporting seasons, and also B, just in terms of your ability to be targets.
As we've seen and heard a little more federal level discussions as far as legalization in the U.S. is concerned,
for sure.
Focus has kind of shifted to south of the border. Let's get into a few names here, just to keep on the radar here, involved in most cases here in some sort of deal already. Gage is the first one listed here on the CSE in Toronto, the ticker GAGE. Tell us about that one.
So Gage is in Michigan, which is the third largest state for cannabis consumption in the U.S. The average basket that someone will buy in Michigan will be about $85. Gage's products are going out at 152. They've got $32 million in cash. And so it makes them an interesting acquisition target, which is what happened about a week, 10 days ago. A company called TerrAscend that we'll talk about next made an offer on them. And they are paying the equivalent of $266 a share. So 545 million market cap is what they're offering, with 0.3 TerrAscend shares for every share of Gage that you own. The interesting thing, the reason I thought we should talk about this one, is the offer was at $266. It's currently trading at $225 with a 310 million market cap versus the 545 that TerrAscend's offered.
Right.
So the deal does end up closing next year. So in theory, if you like what TerrAscend is doing, you may want to participate in getting that sort of small delta on the Gage share. So there's an opportunity there, or maybe another offer comes in. There is a $30 million termination fee on either side, so who knows?
And mostly cash, you said.
No, it's 0.3 TerrAscend share.
Oh, 0.3. Okay, so I mean, still, that's not huge as far as the split.
Yeah, so the TerrAscend we'll get into next. TerrAscend's trading at 833, right? So if you do the math, essentially at 250, you're getting a share of a valuation of TerrAscend at 225 on a Gage share.
Tell us about that side.
So TerrAscend, again, a much larger company, $1.5 billion market cap. Strong chairman as well, just like Gage does. They're in multiple states. Q2 sales of $59 million, up 72% year over year. 150 million in cash. They're going positive cash flow from operations. They're in multiple states. They've got dispensaries all over. They're making acquisitions. So this is going to be one of those sort of middle ones that's becoming a large, like we talked about, sort of in same thing with the booze space that you've seen. Right. So TerrAscend is one of those companies, a little bit more quiet, but I think that's one that's an interesting play as it starts to get more acquisitive. Let's go to PLTH, and that one also on the CSE here. Yeah, so Planet 13, they're particularly strong, obviously, in a couple of states. They do have opportunities in Vegas, which is where they are larger. They just acquired a subsidiary of Harvest. Harvest was just acquired by TrueLive, I think it was in May, for a couple $2 billion. So they're picking up one of the subsidiaries there to get into the Florida market. They want to be in production and licensing and selling in Florida. And Florida does have 370 dispensaries. It is a hotspot for cannabis as the market continues to grow there. So they picked up an opportunity there off of Harvest. And then in the grow side of the business, there's JUSH. Yeah, Jushi, again, in several states. They're in Nevada, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio. Several states. They just acquired another grow in Ohio to add to what they've currently got. So they're really, pushing down hard on a couple of the states where they do have a larger presence, like in Virginia and Ohio. So as we say, these are smaller companies in the cannabis space, but ones that are already starting to get snapped up, or either looking to combine with some sort of other entity to continue to grow. The last one, I mean, we've talked about this in the past, but CANN, is there a deal there? You know what? When you look at Heritage, they have been acquisitive. They picked up a company called 315. They acquired Premium 5. They're a 66 million market cap. The stock has sort of traded in between sort of 8 and 10 and 11 cents the last while. So it's got a strong deal-making team if you're able to pick up these companies. The one that they just most recently are going to close on is going to be doing $2.5 million in sales. Currently, they just put out for July just over $3 million in sales. So if you give them a run rate of $36 million, in theory, they should be able to break even on that. And $36 million is less than 2 times sales of where they currently are. So either they are they have a little bit of cash. So either they go out and pick up more tuck-ins like they've been doing with the premium 5s of the world, or maybe they're a target for somebody larger who says, listen, I need to pick up 35 million in revenue. Let me go pick it up for $66 million of cash or paper or whatever you want to do it at. So they could be someone that's on either side of that.
Makes a lot of sense. We've been talking about how this group has not really provided a lot of opportunities on the intraday time frame over the past little while. But if you look at it from this side of, or this perspective, there is opportunity looking at some of these smaller companies that could potentially be a target.
Yeah, no, then there are, the intraday trades are definitely smaller on these names because they do trade in the sub-million share a day sort of mark. They are a couple 100,000 shares a day, whatever number you want to call it. So there are those small intraday trades, but over a weekly basis or over a 2-week basis, depending on what your horizon is, there's definitely some opportunity on the trade there. And if you have longer term visions, then you look at the ones that are either acquisitive or targets. You do your math backwards and you figure out where you want to be.
Great stuff. As always, Rahim Alani, Managing Director of OCI Groups here in Toronto. Appreciate your time as always.
Anytime.
Let's get a check on the overall market. Maybe Arun, we can have a look at the futures.
Yeah, I'll just take a quick look at the futures here. Well, like I said, this market's been it's been moving quite a bit. Even though the market's flat from day to day, we're down, 0.06% on the S&P and down, or up 0.03% on the NASDAQ. It doesn't tell the whole story because you do have the market kind of just absolutely falling off from where I believe 45.11 and change here, all the way down to 44.86, and then snapping all the way back up to the highs. So there's a lot happening in the pre-market session, in the overnight session, and you do have to factor in all this volume. An area that I was trading with yesterday, remember yesterday I was saying if we can get into the 20s, we can potentially get some shorts. Well, I actually stepped into some shorts here, actually around 12.13, and took it down. And then I noticed that there was a nice little support point building below 4,500. I was concerned what would happen if we took out the lows. We took out the lows, found support, and then we bounced right back up. Coming into today, I hadn't seen what the market had done overnight. So if we were sitting above this, I was going to look at this as potential support. But the fact that we blew through this and then came right back above it tells me that that support line is still there. It's not really a line, it's a zone. As long as we can maintain strength here, maintain support, that zone is in play. 4,500 going on down. At this point, it's going to be 45.85 and change. So for now, look at support around 4,500. If we get into the 15s going on up, remember 35 is the level I'm using from last week, so 45.35 is the top end level. We're gonna mark off 44.85 as the bottom end level. Anything above 15, you can open the door for some shorts, as long as you can make the risk make sense. 15 going up to 35 is about 20 points. Can you get 20 points to the downside? At 15, I would argue yes. Anything less than that, it's gonna be tough. So for me, the cutoff is going to be 45.15 going on up, looking for potential shorts. I need to set up there. If we go down into the 4,500s, then I'd like to look at some longs as well with the low as the stop. So for now, it does look like there's some buy side protection, buy side volume, whatever you want to call it. It is running right into some resistance at this point. So you do have to be concerned of how much upside we get before we get a retracement. So you do have to be careful with that, but be aware, 4,500 going on down, has some support, and we are running right into some resistance. I just want to update you guys. One position I just took is Gevo. Gevo did some, I don't know what this was. Maybe Brendan can find the news on this, but Gevo made quite an aggressive move from 570 all the way up. We took out 6. We stabilized a little bit. I went ahead. I actually put in a couple bids, couldn't get the fills. Then I stepped up, bought it just above 10 even, and see if we can't, or 610. And see if we can actually get a move that continues higher towards 650. But for now, we are long in 2 stocks, Gevo and Apple, both of them doing well. HGen is coming off a little bit. Somebody was asking, what's my target on HGen? I'm risking 50 cents, so I'd like to take the lows and see if we can get below 525. If we can get to 5 even, that'll be my first target. From there on out, it's just gonna be managing the position. But for now, 2 longs, 1 short, and we're just waiting for some more. Brendan?
All right, let's get into the watch list here, guys. We're getting on in time. GME, the first one on the watch list. Again, if you need the morning note, we send out every single morning for free. Miss V will help you out in the chat with the link for that. Let's talk GME, guys. Yeah, it was, I mean, the numbers were fine. They actually beat on the sales side. They beat on the revenue side, but there was no forecast. There was no talk of a plan going forward for GME, which they didn't like.
Yeah, that's why we want the short here on GME through 177.50. Looks like that'll happen very, very soon. I just want to, as you were doing the interview there, Brendan, we did have some news come out here. Amazon, and we'll talk about GME in a second. I just want to explain to you why I have this Roku short. People asking about this. Amazon, and it was $3 in the money, and I didn't take it. Where's that gift horse thing that I need? But I've gone back and forth with Neil on this. I mean, I don't believe that you're looking a gift horse in the mouth when you're taking profits, but Neil is what it is. We'll talk about that with him tomorrow. Amazon to sell TV line, stepping up its own fight with Roku and Google. So right now, Amazon just has the Fire Sticks, I guess, and some Amazon Fire, like a TV box. But it looks like they're going to actually do a set-top box now, so an actual physical TV. And I guess that means that less people, maybe, I don't know, going to buy Roku little devices now. So now that you can actually get the TV, it'll probably be very, very affordable. So let's see what happens now with this, because right now they're fighting Roku and Google, and I guess Nvidia with the Nvidia Shield. And there's a lot of competition in this space. So we'll short Roku now. We got it in there. This is what I'm talking about. We got the short, pretty decent spot. It dropped down to 330 or so, maybe even a little bit more. No, I think it was 330 was the most. So it only went $3 in the money for us and then stopped. So now that we've learned our lesson, we'll put a bid down here around 330. Hopefully it comes crashing back down and we'll catch some. And then my next bid is actually much, much lower in the 320s. So let's see if that gets like low 320s here on Roku. So let's just see if that gets anything going here. We've been a bad little streak here for Roku over the last couple of days, so this doesn't help it. Big flush down, that did happen, so it did go down to that 324. So we know that there are people looking at this. It's out of the money for me right now, but more to come on Roku, I hope anyways. I don't really have a target to get out. I have to do more work on that. All right, so here's GameStop. Look, again, and I wrote it down here on the sticky note that it was just really a guidance problem in my opinion. It's kind of been trading okay here on the daily chart. It stuck up to 220 and just kind of got stuck there, which kind of makes sense. 220 there, 220 back when everything was going crazy. 220 was an area that it bounced around a couple times, and it bounced around again in March, and then right here again, 220 back in June, and then right now we just stopped at 220 before coming back down. So looks like we're gonna break that 50-period moving average, and I think we may get some support. While we should be able to get some support at 140, 144, 150-ish area. So that's kind of the target for me for GameStop before I start looking at even getting long in this name. But if you're looking at a daily chart, a tradable level, I think that we have what we've already talked about here. 177.50 is my target area of concern. So if we break that right now as we get closer to open, I'm going to be more confident in that trade. So let's take a 177.50 short. And then I said that we would also short it back into this. So if we get any shorts back here, I actually put an offer at a random price, and I said to Arun that I'd have to explain this, but I don't really have to. It's 188.47. No idea why we're stuck there, but we're just going to start to build the position somewhere in between here. So we pick 188.50, just a little bit ahead of that. So we're going to start to build a short if it does pop, and then we'll use this 194 area to see if it takes that out. It could, man. I mean, don't ever, Arun, and I know you don't trade GameStop or AMC too much, but the apes that are on some of these stocks can let these things ride quite a while. So, if we do take out this 195 area, I think we may see 200 and maybe even break this 204.
Yeah, and that's kind of a thing that you have to factor in when you trade these stocks. Charts look a certain way, and then you do have to factor in the volume that's going to come in at the open, especially on stocks that are hot. So the reason I'm waiting, remember, I wanted to look at shorts below 180. I was going to use 186 as a stop, but I want to see how much buying is going to come in around this 180. As long as we can absorb from the shorts perspective, as long as it can be absorbed, the buying can be absorbed, and we suppress that below 180, I think shorts are still on the table with 186 as a stop. But if you have a rush of volume coming in to buy this above 186, that idea has to go out the door, and you just have to move on. So there's no rush to get in on GME because a lot of the volume is done at the open. More so than other stocks. So for me, I'm just going to be waiting. But 180 is the key for me. 180, as long as we can stay below it, shorts are on the table. If we get back above and actually catch a bid, move out of the way and let it go.
All right, quick headline on Moderna here. I mean, they're not the first to do this, but they're developing a single dose, both COVID and normal flu booster shot. So that's, again, something that's been in the works, I think, over the past couple of months, but that's just out there at 9 o'clock for Moderna. Interesting on the vaccine front, they said yesterday Pfizer and AstraZeneca okay for the third shot boosters, but Moderna going to be delayed a little bit as we discuss. Let's continue along here. Lululemon, huge beat right across the board, increased their forecast, full year and current quarter forecast to the upside. So big move aftermarket, and here again this morning for Lulu, guys.
Yeah, I mean, just what a fantastic quarter. I don't even really have much to say about Lululemon other than it just was so hot fire. I mean, great quarter, everything working, buying dips, but no real levels. We're already up. We're at all-time highs for Lulu right now. So, okay, let's just check this out. Like it's even going now, even more. Like 430, 432 right now. I mean, they beat on everything, and especially with some of the COVID talk right now back. Obviously, it's been back for it hasn't left. But how fast has 2021 gone? Like, we're already in September. It's unbelievable. But Lulu, I mean, again, trying to find some dips here. We can use 420 maybe as an area of concern there if there's a spot that we might want to get long at. And no reason to hit these icons other than it's a slow morning. And we want to get some beats in there and get some people happy with what they're seeing on the screen. But, maybe a bid back into here where we had some consolidation. Yesterday, our chart stopped printing at 430, so obviously we know the story. It comes with a high side, but there's some consolidation there right after the report. So maybe bids back down to 420, which could easily happen. I mean, you could get a flush here. This is a big move, man, 13%. Their forward PE, I believe, is now 55, which is still large. But that's always been the problem with Lulu. They've always had pricing issues as far as valuation, right? But 69%, and I don't know, Arun, I mean, I believe that you work out. It seems like that. Do you own any Lulu? Because 69% of their business is female, leaving a big spot for male, and the quality is there. I just think that they have to sort of, I mean, not they have to, they are doing this, but focus obviously on advertising towards the male side of things. And then these numbers can even run even further. So I like Lululemon. I think 420, 425 is a good buy. I don't want to take out any tops, but normally we would. Let's let this market open up and see where the big players come through. Who just hit that one, 420? But we'll wait to see here on Lululemon. I don't know, any opinions?
Yeah, 435 is what I'm looking at. That would be the high. If we can get above there and push, there could be a nice little extension. Going back to the comment about have I looked at stuff at Lulu for men, they have it. It is just, the price point doesn't make any sense because they're almost 2.5 times more expensive than what Under Armour does, and the product is almost the same. So I've seen this stuff and I'm just like, why would I pay this when I can just get the Under Armour stuff that has the exact same product or almost the very same product for working out, and I can pay almost much less, right? So it's just one of those things where I think they still got to figure out their male side of things, but the female side, they have it on lock, they've done well, and you see the price point, you see the movement, right? It's Sean was saying that it used to be $50 or something like when it IPO'd, and here it is at $400 and change. Canadian company, by the way, I believe. This is Chip Wilson and change out of Vancouver.
Sterling.
If I'm not wrong, I believe that is the case. So it's one of those movers, and it's a great product, and it's been a great product for a while now. So here we are with the stock going towards 434. Maybe if we can get 435, there might be a long there.
A good point there by Sterling Silver there, and a point missed by me. But if they're signing now, they just signed apparently 4 PGA golfers. I'm not sure male or female, but anyways, a good signing there. And I just think that, hey, look, as goes quality, as goes Lulu, right? And that's the same thing with Peloton. They never have sales, they never have anything. They just have the pricing power. So I think they can continue, Brendan. Why not?
Yep. Let's continue along. NIO, guys, NIO back on watch this morning, still negative, but well off the lows from this spike that happened early on this morning. Took it down below 37. There was reports out overnight, I guess it was over in China, suggesting that their Hong Kong listing, so they confirmed, if you remember, back in July, that they were going to do a Hong Kong listing. Now reports suggesting that that could be delayed. There wasn't any suggestion as to how long said delay could be, but worth a note here for NIO.
Yeah, normally NIO's on my radar, Brendan, but today I don't really I don't really have it on there. And the reason why is yesterday was just such a, I mean, yesterday, here we go, long longs. We wound up losing on the stock, but it wasn't too bad. We were able to catch some of these dips, and I think we'll try to do the same thing. But it never really recovered. We were down that 6% yesterday, and then we didn't, I mean, I don't know if we, let's check out the 10-minute chart here. So there it is, that's today. So heading into yesterday, we did have a little bit of a recovery into the close. Obviously, the bottom was this $38, and then we bumped up to $38.20, but still a big move to the downside. And then right now, you're kind of bouncing off some of these levels from the 30th and the 31st. So 36.80, 37. So I think that we could probably buy this thing a little bit cheaper. Let's just see if the Neo Bulls come back in here at this level, 36.70, some of these bottom picks. So if you have that, then you have a 36.50 as you're out, but we have to wait on it. I kind of like, see if I can zoom out. No, I can't anymore. I kind of like this level right here, 38.40 or so, where we didn't get back to yesterday afternoon. So this 38.40 level right in here seems to be an area that I like. So if Neo can get going on that, then let's do that. Looks like it's a big, I mean, the headline is what it is. They're not going to be able to list in Hong Kong, maybe. I don't really know how that affects too much of their business, other than, of course, there's going to be capital missed by not being able to raise it in the open market. So maybe they come out, and they diluted shares yesterday, Arun. And again, I know you trade futures, so you might not be aware of that, but they had a 2 billion share offering yesterday, which didn't help the stock come to the downside. So down that 6%. I think that was probably a little bit too much. The NASDAQ was only down 0.5%. So let's take this out right now, 38.40. But let's make sure we're right. So that's why we're picking these levels. I don't want to average now, because if I start buying now, then I'm going to be in trouble if it does touch that 36.70. So I'm along at 38.40, and we'll buy the dips down to 36.50.
Yeah, for me, Neo, it is doing something that is, I mean, personally, it's just one of those things where above 38, it gets a little dicey, because we spent a decent amount of time, pretty much from 10 o'clock onward, we spent time between 38 and 38.50. So that makes me wonder how much volume is being traded there. Is that going to be resistance as we move on through that level? So I'm going to mark the top end at 39 even. If we can get above 39, then you can open the door, for me at least, if you can open the door towards a potential run. But for now, fade maybe, if we get into the 38.20 and change. Pretty much the opposite trade that Sean's looking at, because I'm worried about the resistance and what potential targets you may have. So for now, I'm going to say 39, 38.50. Again, this also isn't a high priority for me. I've already got 2 positions, or 3 positions that I've got to manage. I'm also looking at NVIDIA potentially off of 224 and change. So few other stocks that are moving for me. So Neo, there's a potential trade there, not high priority, so I'll probably not even bother. If it comes up on the radar and I don't have anything else going on, I might just go ahead and take a shot at that. But I have other things to worry about at the moment.
All right, staying in the automotive space, Ford confirming they'll pull out of India on the manufacturing side. 2 plants in India will be closed as far as manufacturing goes, but they are going to, according to their company anyway, saying business solutions team will be increased significantly in India, but both manufacturing plants being closed for Ford, guys.
Business solution team, you say? That's good. Yeah, we got to get some solutions to this business, because right now Ford, and I'm surprised by it. It's on my sticky note today. I'm already long. I like Ford. I've liked it all day yesterday. Unfortunately, maybe it shows that, no, it doesn't show my trades yesterday. But we were buying dips into this area. We doubled up our position down here. Thankfully, we did. We were able to get it out at about 13 bucks, washing the day for us on Ford. So that was a good one. I want to do the exact same thing again today. I believe this 1280 holds. They got that guy Fields from Apple and Tesla. I believe that's going to be a good move for them. And, whenever you get, capital like that on the human resource side, it seems like it's a good thing. Let's wait. This is a 10-minute chart. Very, very choppy the last couple of days. I don't even really know why I'm looking at it. I don't normally like stocks that do this, but I really do believe in the name. I believe in the company, and I think it's a good investment. Unlike Fisker, Lucid, any of those type of names, Ford still that 65 billion market cap. Should be there. I don't know. Tesla's at 7 or almost 800 billion. So I think, not to compare Ford to Tesla, but I mean, if they're going to electrify, they have we talked about this yesterday, the Mach-E with the Mustang. Now they're getting more capital as far as management coming through. They have the F-150, which is the largest selling vehicle in, it might even be the world, but I know it's North America. So 1305 right now. I like that break. That's going to be a long hit for me. So if we can get up there, man, I'm going to pound that long through 1305, and I want to protect this long as well into 1280. So if we dump through 1280, then my out's going to be around that 12 12 and a quarter, 3/4, 12.75. But I'm buying these dips on Ford. I believe in it. And I'm just waiting for that one day that it just starts to run. Like, I don't know. I'm surprised that there's not more upgrades on this name. I'm slowly looking at you, Ford. I stopped looking at GM. I'm a holder of both, but I do believe in Ford on some of these dips. Have to buy it.
Yeah, Ford, I don't care for the stock. The stock isn't exactly that exciting. It's an investment stock, not necessarily a trading stock.
Yeah.
So I'm just not even going to bother pulling up the chart. What I am going to update you guys on is Gevo starting to stall out a little bit around the previous, the initial pop high, which was around 645, 650, going into 650, 645 or something like that was the high. We're stalling out there. So I took some profit there, 19 cents on the first little bit. That would cover risk, right? The risk on this trade was about 20 cents. I'm making 20 cents on the first half right now. And the second one, I'm going to get out if it comes back underneath 620 and change. So if we get back underneath, I'll lock in maybe another 3 or 4 cents or something like that if we come back on Gevo. But for now, I'll give it a chance to see if we can't take a high. But I've locked in profit, protected the risk, and we are going to move on from that. I've still got Apple kind of flirting with that 155.50 for now, and HGen still working that 6 even on the short side. For now, though, NVIDIA is the only one that I've got on deck. Somebody was asking, what alert system do we use? What hot list do we use? Something from eSignal. They have something called a hot list. That's what I use anyways, and you can sort this. I'll pull this on the screen here. I just sorts this and it updates constantly as new stocks get moved based on what your criteria is. In my case, it's the rate of trade and also the volume of trade. So as activity picks up, it just pulls up stocks that are moving really quickly for me. And hey, I use it on top of all the other stuff that we have from our own software to help find trades that are moving at the moment. Brendan?
About 5 minutes to go, guys. Let's talk small cap world. Yesterday was very quiet in small cap world. Today's even more on the quiet side. So we'll talk about this one. Global Star, if you remember, I mean, it's the $3 billion market cap, so we're kind of getting into the larger on the small cap side. But you remember yesterday, this thing traded almost 300 million shares yesterday following Apple's announcement September 14th, the new iPhone expected to come. Everyone was talking, if you remember last week, about how that could possibly include some satellite technology. There's been lots of rumors since then saying that that is not true and won't happen, but still, we were up big time yesterday for GSAT on monster volume. So hard to ignore. We're already through that high, though, from yesterday. So I was kind of watching that high from yesterday to see what happens. Otherwise, there's 260, which was a pivot way back in February when this thing popped up. And then $3 is the top end of that range from February. But 300 million shares yesterday, guys. Got to watch that GSAT.
All right. Yeah, Sean, you're going to take GSAT. I just noticed that there was a couple of super chats that we never got around to.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay.
One of them was about any.
Okay.
Any is on New York stock, NASDAQ stock. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, any, let's just pull up the chart on the 30-minute. Let's just see what it looks like from the macro, not macro, but like the much larger time frame. And it doesn't look like it's doing a whole lot at the moment. It is sideways at 7 even and change as this chart loads. And you see this as the chart loads. We are stalling out here. We've been here before multiple times. And it seems like we're stalling out in front of 750, 760. For now, though, there's not a whole lot you can do. Until we get above this 760 area, then you have space to the upside. Then you really have space to the upside because then you're looking at, what, 850, maybe 9 before you hit some resistance again. So for me, as long as it's trading at 7 even, I wouldn't consider this a potential buy side. Maybe you could fade it if you really want to go for the short. But for now, though, 750, 760 has to break to the upside for the chart to make sense to be on the long or at least buy on the long side of the chart. So for now, though, I'm going to wait. I'll put this up. I do have this actually, yeah, I do have it up on my radar there. If we can get above 750, 760, I'll have an alert go off. And if we can maintain some buying, I think then you take a shot at the buy side. And that's what I'm looking for on any.
So good call there, and I see the GSAT one as well. Thank you so much for the super chat here, Hunter Dixon. Right now, looks like it could be a good one on that $3 break. So let's talk about that. I'm going to go short first, and then agree with you after. So I mean, I think this $3 is a good spot right there. We've already broken it one time. We went up to 307. We tested it again back in February. This is February when a lot of meme stocks are going crazy. Now you're getting some of these rumors. It looks like Apple will, of course, come out with that car in 2024, they believe. Anyways, we'll see if that's going to be the case as well. All I hear is Randy always negative Nancy over there on all these ideas. Maybe we can get Randy up on the screen today to talk a little bit about this. But GSAT up to $3. I'm going to short it. So I'm going to short this at this 290 level here, and then we'll see what happens going into like Brendan just talked about there are some high levels there. 280 maybe is a better short than 290, but we'll see. If it gets going early, we will take GSAT short at 290, and then we'll bust it long. So I'm going to take a 10-cent worth of risk. Well, let's call it 15 cents because we break through $3, and then we probably get 303 or 304, something like that on a bust out. So we'll take a 15-cent hit on the short if it does break, and then we'll punch the long and hopefully make, well, we'll have to make more than 15 cents on that long if it goes up. So we'll double our position to the long side. So it could be a nasty ride for me if GSAT doesn't, or if it just goes up and down, we'll get killed, but hopefully it doesn't. Okay, Clover, before we go here, we only have a minute 30 seconds left, so check out watchlist.tradertv.live to get our watch list going. Clover's on my list. I hope I have a stop order out for it, and I don't know if I do, but breaking through 965, I got to get one out right now. So yesterday, a bunch of trades on Clover like a madman, but we had this 965 area that I really like on this. So it's only 10 seconds ago, I got to hit this bell, but 965 on Clover, I like it. It looks like it's Randy over there on the bell today.
Yep, and we're counting down. I just got myself into a position that I was not paying attention to. Lulu on the buy side. It did break 435. Now there's iceberg. And here we go.
And let's go. Guys, thank you so much once again for joining us here, as we get ready to rock and roll here with an open market right now. So there we go. Ford breaks it. We go short again on Roku. So Roku right now, the double short is in. We do have some outs here, guys. So our outs is going to be to the high side, 336.50. There it goes. Some of that breaking right now. So we got to watch out for this as it's starting to go upside. Right here goes Roku. So we did get out of a little bit. We're holding a little bit more. Ford falling down as well. We did take a bid there at 88. So our average price 88 now on Ford. Let's see if that can go. Mistake on Roku. Let's see if we can't get it back, though. We still are a little bit short on this name. And then we are long right now on Ford on that dip.
Yeah, there was an issue there. I left an order for a testing order on what was it, Lulu, just to see if we broke above it. It was supposed to tell me that we broke above it. It got me into a few shares, and then came right back down. I was like, oh crap. So I took a hit there on Lulu right off the open. And Givo has come back. Okay, so we flattened ourselves on Givo there. Remember, we got out in front of 30. There was a little bit of resistance in front of the high. If we broke 20, I was going to get out the rest of it. It's gone. We're done. We moved on from that. We still have Apple, though. Apple's running at this point. Futures, they're not doing a whole lot, but Apple is up 60 cents on the move at the moment. After we got long here just above 30, and here we are running this all the way up to, looks like 166 and change. Okay, so as long as Apple keeps on doing that, what do we have on in terms of targets? Let's take a quick look. I'm not looking at anything until 157. So we'll start managing this. We'll let this go. We know how the market, if the market can get going, remember, this is the biggest index weight in the S&P 500 and also the NASDAQ as well. So as long as we can get moving on Apple, you're going to start to see the indexes move. For now, though, it does look like the index wants to come down a bit. So we're going to wait a little bit more before we start to put management in place on Apple, but let's just keep an eye on Apple for now. Brendan?
EFTR, guys, one from yesterday, if you remember, big crazy mover, got all the way up to 39.40 at the top. Just halts to the upside. You can't actually see it. I just need to refresh this chart. But EFTR, volatility halt right out of the gate.
All right, right now we're just looking at Clover. So we did take that break at 68. It's ripped up to 73 a couple times. So we put an offer around 75, just see if we take a piece out, and then we'll see about going higher on Clover. We do like that from yesterday. I mean, we see this big dip yesterday on Clover, looking to take that out. It just did that. So now we're long. We'll see about we get some consolidation around 990 or so. But there it is. We're right at 75 right now. So we got to get that bid. Oh, man, we just missed that offer at 75. That sucks. Maybe we'll get a 74 now. There it is. There's the break. So that's a nice little win so far. Popping some wheelies off on Clover as it's starting to go now. Let's get going on Clover. Nice little upside there, up to 80 now, 80 and change. Clover, good move.
Yeah, I just picked up some longs on NVIDIA. Remember, we were watching 224 in the pre-market there. I am long 224.05. Just in front of this break, I think there's enough here to take a shot at it. The risk on this is going to be about $1.50. We have enough space. We can get, I think, to at least to 25.50. So we have space. So the risk makes sense at this point. So for now, we are waiting. It is 50 cents. Not really. It's 30 cents in the money. The spread seems to be a little bit wide on NVIDIA. It is just off the open. So we are waiting a little bit more. But for now, though, now it's 50 cents in the money on NVIDIA, waiting for 225.50 as your first target. I'm going to go ahead and put the order there if I can't get it. And Givo, man, okay. Givo wants to keep on going after. It got me out. Now here we are at 645. So anyone who's looking for a new breakout to the high end, there you go. Givo looking at 650 and change at the top. Apple's running, Nvidia's running. HGen, I got to worry about HGen. It is coming back against me. Remember, risk on this was 50 cents. if we can still get it, I'll leave the order there. If I lose the 50 cents, I'll lose the 50 cents. But I was thinking that we can actually take a shot at 525 and change towards, I think there was a pre-market or aftermarket low yesterday on GVO. So for now, it doesn't look like it wants to go in that way, at least. So we are going back to the upside. If I need to take the hit, fine. What else do we have? Square just came off on my list of stocks that are moving. Why?
Yeah,
there we go. Why is Square? Because I had an alert set off for 257.50 if we got above here and maintained. But we're not maintaining it just yet. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. If we can get above 257.50 and hold, we're going to get above this afternoon session's resistance point, and then we can actually expand to the upside. So I'm going to keep an eye on that for now. There goes Apple, 156. That's a 68% winner. NVIDIA is all going as well, so we got to start putting some offers in to protect our profits. What's up, Brendan?
Nice bounce back for Apple there today. We didn't get to the airlines in the pre-market, guys, but worth noting, some of them pretty strong here out of the gate. UAL, the entire group basically came out warning about the current quarter because of the Delta variant and negative effects to come, but a lot of them back to positive here, including United up 0.5% to start.
And all we had to do was stay away from Roku, and this would have been a hot fire morning, man. Ford, look at Clover now, right up to 990 there. Like bang, bang, bang. We're still in half of Clover, more than half of Clover as it still continues to make a move to the upside. So, hey, man, this is a nice winner. So we'll go Mamma Mia for that. Shout out to Neil eating some pineapple pizza as we speak, I believe. But you can see right up to the upside now. Just took that out. We'll see about $10. 990 yesterday on Clover, guys. We talked about that as some resistance there. So maybe we should have got some more out on the upside. We'll work on that. We've averaged into Ford now, so this could be a good one. We just took that 1280. Again, we talked about resisting that one, so hopefully that can come back to the upside. Our average price now 87. And then we're taking one more shot here on Roku. Let's see if it can hold these levels of 341. That's going to be my out. It looks like it's coming back down a little bit now, but we're still stuck short at 337.50. So this was a big win. I mean, I had $3 in the money here and didn't take it. Or sorry, about $2 in the money and didn't take it. So that's on me, man. And then we shorted again, and then it takes out that level. So 337 gets taken out. Now let's hopefully come back to the downside for that. And it looks like we pegged that as well on Clover, 990. Let's get out of more here right now. I mean, look, it's only 12 cents, but we just missed that 990. I don't want this thing to go red.
Yeah, well, talk about something that's not going red.
Yep.
Futures.
Big time.
Absolutely on fire at the moment. We're waiting for this because Apple started moving and the futures weren't. I was wondering whether Apple was the one that was going to turn around. It is not. It is the futures now catching up, getting influence. It's weird right now because Apple's actually coming off a little bit and futures actually taking off. So given the weightings, it's kind of weird. But here goes futures towards 17. Now we're looking for potential shorts. We need the setup. As long as we can get the setup, I'm okay fading it. But for now, we have buy-side strength going into the futures. Nice little bounce right off the 10s. Here we are almost at 1820. That opens the door for some more resistance here in mid-20s, going up into 24, 25. But for now, it does look like we are going to keep on going on the futures. And we're just going to wait to manage Apple and NVIDIA. What's up, Brennan?
We saw early weakness, guys, in some of the Chinese names. That has also turned into big-time strength. Just saw this one, Billy ripping to the upside with 79, or 79 was a bit of a support level in the pre-market, all the way through to 83 already. Still down, obviously, but back to the upside for Billy.
Wow. Oh, yeah. What about DD? We didn't look at that. So Clover, man, good job getting it. We got some more at 80 and 79 there as it's starting to make its move back to the downside. And we talked about the risk that was sort of associated with that Clover 990 spot. So that was a good out for us. But now we're holding less than half. We just took some out at 980, and we were worried about it. And we told you why. So hopefully that can come through. All right, Ford. Ford already stopped. I mean, this is going to be a good day for us on Ford. No hits yet. Hopefully not happening. We'll get out here if it can come back to the upside. I'm still thinking 13. Let's just let Ford go. There's not much we can do here. Look, it's going to be hard for me to win on this Roku trade. I really think this is a good trade. We just went down to 336, putting this trade back into the money there, and we didn't take it. So I can't fight these futures, though, right? I mean, that's the problem. If the NASDAQ's going to go up, Roku is a part of the NASDAQ there, so it's going to fight. It's going to fight, and it's fighting pretty good, staying up here. I don't like that Amazon news. We've talked about that, but it looks like it doesn't matter what I think. I believe it comes back downside and we can make this money back. We're actually not down that much on it. So a little bit more downside here. We only took that hit, right? So a little bit more to the downside right now. We can be positive. I'm going to hold on to Roku just in case these futures do turn. I think this thing tanks. So for me right now, I like that Roku spot. Let's just see if it can happen right now, but we have to go back to Brendan.
Another earnings name, Rocket Lab, we saw on the board late yesterday. They reported better than expected results and also, increased their Q3 forecast. So RKLB, this is a recent SPAC conversion, so not a lot in the daily chart, but recent highs, 15% for RKLB.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right.
As that's taking off, Apple coming back hard. You see the offer I've got up there. That's my risk, where the risk makes sense for me. And Apple coming back strong. Futures still going. Futures has broken 45.20, and Apple coming off hard. So something else is carrying the market at the moment. It's not Apple. For me, though, as long as the futures keep doing what they're doing, Apple, I'm not going to get too concerned with Apple's move. If this is going to spin around and get me out, fine. But given what the futures are doing, at some point, I would imagine there's going to be strength coming off of Apple because futures are accelerating aggressively, as you can see right off the open here from 10. We were stalled for about a minute or two, and then we just took off, right? 10 points straight to the upside into resistance. Now, if future starts to slow down, then I got to be worried about Apple. But for now, we are going to sit on Apple. And the other one I'm looking at, Disney. Disney went to the upside. Trade alert, I guess, for Sean. But I'll get through Disney first.
Keep going, yep.
And Disney, above 186 and change. This is what I was looking at. As long as we can maintain some strength above here, this 185.50, that chop session after 11 o'clock, as long as we were able to get above there, I was looking for longs. We got above there. We traded well above there. So I've got a bid in there just in front of 186. I actually should put out the display. Here we go. So you see the order there, 186 and change. I am waiting just in front of it. See if we can't grab a long. The stop on this is just going to be below 185. So the risk is about $1 and change. And if we can get that move towards 187, it makes the risk worth it. And I don't see a reason why we can't. It's just a matter of getting that fill because does not want to come on down. As soon as I put the bid down, it was already at 33, and it just kept going. But I'm not willing to chase it up either, given that I only really have about $1 or so to the upside. So I want to control the risk on this trade a little bit. So we're going to leave the bid. I'm okay with the late fill. So if this has got to go to 186.50 and come back down later, I'm fine with that too. So we'll leave the order and see if we can get a fill. But Apple is turning around quite a bit as the futures keep on going, which absolutely makes no sense for me. But let me see if I can't find another trade to work with in the index.
I'm surprised these futures are going continuous to go to the upside. I thought we'd have a negative day today, to be honest with you, and which is why we switched over. Now Roku now in the money. So hopefully we can stack up some cash here on Roku. And I hope you guys shorted that. We talked about that move up to 340 there. I just got a little too excited and should have still held on. I should not have got out there. It was a little bit silly by me, but whatever. We did it. The new trade alert was SoFi, and thank you to someone on the chat there that brought SoFi up. I need to talk about Palantir as well. There's just so much to do right now. What's up, Jude? What did you tell me, Jude? Right here. What's up, Jude? What did I tell you? I don't know. You tell me what you told me. It's pretty busy. Over 6,000 people watching. I don't know, maybe. And it's hard to watch all of these comments come through. But there goes SoFi. The reason why we like SoFi right now, here, it just took this out right here. So it took that out. I mean, I can put on my, we can put on our fills here, part fills and fills. So there you go. So we'll check that off. There it is. So we take that long going right through there. We're going to hold this back to here, 1540 or so, with one average in coming around 1550. So hopefully SoFi can get going. We've talked about how beat down this name has been, so we're going to watch out for SoFi right here. And then look, what I told myself actually was Clover, and that was that 990 spot right there. We talked about that, some resistance yesterday at about $10 or so. So again, comes back down, tries to make a move, stops at 10, now gets faded again. We just took another long into this 925. Now that I look at this, it has to be about a 920 break, but I don't really want to be involved in that. That's a little bit too low. So anything around 930, I think, is going to be enough for me, and we will get out of our Clover if that does fall on its face. And again, not good. Now the futures are coming down, and we sort of dug into a few longs, including Ford, which is, I mean, maybe this is what Jude was talking about. I've been buying Ford all the way down. We're in a spot now where we have to punch out if this gets any worse than us. So we're getting very, very close now to Ford. We've dug in a little bit too much on that one. What's up, Brendo?
We showed you UAL initially. Here's American as well. AAL just ripping here out of the gates, guys. 19 held. Right out of the right at the open there, 1.6% to the upside. Volume, the story here, much higher than normal volume for the airline so far.
Yeah, I'm still trying to make sense of this Apple move, but the stop on this is going to be just below 155, so the risk is about 34, 35 cents and change. If this spins around, this is going to be something I've got to keep an eye on, especially with the futures doing what they're doing. So if we lose Apple, then I've got to keep an eye on Microsoft. If we lose Apple and Microsoft, then I may have to start looking for fades in the futures immediately. Given that we're at resistance at the moment, yeah, I'm going to lose Apple right now, but Microsoft is still going strong. So I got to put this up and keep an eye on this. Since we've lost Apple, the weight in the index, I've got to keep an eye on Microsoft, which is the second weight in the index. And as soon as this stalls out or fails, fade time in the futures. So for now, we are at resistance. Let's keep an eye on the futures here. We are at 20. We are at resistance, so it could be well timed if we can actually grab that short. But for now, though, it is going strong. We'll leave it alone and see if we can't get some more volume on the sell side before we go for the short. But for now, keep an eye on futures and Microsoft. Apple's gone. Apple's already done quite the spin off the open. Remember, we were up about 70 or 80 cents and then an immediate spin. As soon as we got to 156, we were done. We just spun right back around and we lost that bid that we had off the open. So keep an eye. This doesn't mean a whole lot right now, but as we get a rotation, more stocks in the indexes, especially at the top end weights, you may have a rotation in the actual market as a whole. For now, though, let's just keep an eye on Microsoft and Apple as well. Even though if we can maintain some sell pressure there, we could get some volume there. And Disney, damn Disney, it's almost at 187. If it gets to 187 without giving me a fill, I'm going to have to cancel this order because at that point the target's been hit and I won't be able to justify the risk on taking this trade. But for now, we are sitting at 186.50. So another 50 cents to the upside, and I'm going to have to walk away from Disney. What else do we have? Oh yeah, FUTU. That was another one of the Chinese names that we were talking about. We are entering a sell side resistance zone that I'm keeping an eye on, see if we can't grab a short here. The stop on this is 109. You see this sell zone that I was talking about. As long as we can find some resistance here, and I'm thinking 106.50, maybe 107. As long as we get some more selling inside the zone, I think I'm open to fading it with $2.50 in risk. But for now, though, it's just stocks to watch, really, because you really don't have a whole lot of breaks. You saw that mess that Lulu created this morning, taking out the high, went up $1, up probably on stops, came back down and swiped like $2 or $3, then an iceberg. Let me pull up Lulu for you guys, just in case. Here's at 426. So it's quite the spin, right off taking off the highs, and then spin right around, take out the lows, the pre-market points, and then we're probably going to kind of leak back to the downside on Lulu at the moment. At least for now, it does look that way. But we do have some, the risk is going to be wide on this one. So I'm not sure if I want to step into this again. That mess that it created this morning was not fun. So I'm going to just walk away from this one and see if I can't find another stock. I do have to manage this NVIDIA position, though. It is starting to stall out a little bit in front of this 225 and change. Yeah, I'm going to bring the stop up on this, see if we can lock in about 30 cents or so. I'll bring the stop up just below 224.30, maybe 35, just to protect a little bit of risk because we are letting it come back a lot. If we let it come back all the way back to flat from 225, I think that doesn't make sense anymore. I do have offers out. We got close. You see this a couple times, we got close, but not enough to get me out. So now I do have to protect against this 225 acting as resistance. We may have been off by a few cents on NVIDIA for the target. And I think I'll be getting out very soon on NVIDIA. Yeah, let's just walk away from NVIDIA, actually.
Yeah, Ford was bad for us as well. It got crushed down to the bottom side there. We're going to use, I don't know if we got wicked out or not there, but we're going to use this 1269 now as our route. We went back long at 1276 there. So I don't know what's going to happen with this. I'm very disappointed in Ford, just right to the downside. And again, we can apologize for some of the plays that we've made here, but this has been a bad one today on Ford. And yesterday we played the same game and then it went back to the upside. So we're going to hold out just a little bit, but I'm not going to go that much more because we've already broke that 1280. So I think it's worth a shot now. We'll just have to wait to see Roku. Thankfully, this is $2 in the money, but we'll see if Roku wants to continue its move back to the downside right now. That would be nice if that could happen. We're still targeting, honestly, man, I think we can get back into here, man, 332, 331, especially if the NASDAQ does fall down. That's going to be one for me to definitely have a look at there with Roku. Okay, So SoFi not doing too much. Oh, EFTR, the halt continues on EFTR right here, the halt fest, I should say. It's not halted right now, but you could see bang, bang, a couple of halts on EFTR. Yesterday, that $40 was a great short opportunity. We could see if we get back up there. But again, when you're into halts, that's what you're going to look for. You're going to look for levels where we've resisted before. So 37, 38, 39 up here. EFTR did have some problems, but it is the name to watch if you're looking at halts today. EFTR looking like it's bouncing around quite nicely. Ford Clover didn't really do too much. It does come back to the downside. We did buy into this trouble area. We did talk about that. And then after the buy, it does go right back up into the money for us again, back up to, not actually flat, up to 56 again, which is where we're stuck. So right now we're waiting for this one to keep popping. Hopefully that does happen with our friend and maybe no friend of mine, Clover. Hopefully that can continue to go upside. With the NASDAQ now bouncing, maybe our Roku does get stopped, but that's at 341. That's where we're going to be wrong on Roku, guys.
Yeah, I'm looking at some alerts. Remember earlier I was talking about Square above 257.50 as long as we can maintain support, blah, 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 blah. We never did. It's coming off right now. And this is starting to make, when this happens, it makes you wonder, like, okay, this resistance is still in play. We are still respecting it. We're not taking out. Maybe stops got taken out up to 258. Now I'm looking for shorts, trying to play in front of this level because I know this level is a lot stronger and we've got stops out of the way. So 258 is now going to be the stop. And if we can find a short in front of this, I would love to go short on Square as well. There was another stock in there as well. I think it might have been HD. But for now, Square is what I'm looking at, potential shorts in front of 258. Brandon?
I just saw McDonald's pop up here, guys. Not one we mention very often, but get ready, everyone in the UK, because here comes the first ever vegan burger to the UK. That was the big headline today for MCD, guys. Having a nice day.
Okay, vegan burgers, eh? Okay, good potential there if anybody's into that. And McDonald's making moves. I know they had some deals with the Beyond Meat as well to talk about some of that. So I don't know if they're ever having that. They were going to do a PLT. I don't know if that ever went through, but I do like Beyond Meat at some of these levels. However, it's been pretty depressed, that is for sure. There goes Clover, guys, right back to positive. So we take a little piece out, like 10% out right there. Now we're going to watch that, hopefully run to the high side. And the same thing with Ford as well. Hopefully that can make a move back to the upside now. If we can get anywhere into here, man, high 1280s, then we will take that out. I'm hearing something in my ear there. I think it's Maggie. Alert to Maggie. Someone's talking in our ear. Okay, so hopefully Ford can get back to the upside. Let's take a little bit of a piece out there on that, as now Clover's starting to go, guys, up to 59 and 60. Maybe we have a banger on this one.
Yeah, okay, guys. Well, one stock we were looking at, remember GME? Yeah, we were looking at 180. What kind of strength we're going to get? Well, clearly to the sell side we were looking. Not enough sell side strength. So what this means now is we've taken up the top end of the range long time. That's essentially what it means for me. See if I can't grab a long. I'm just waiting for a little bit more volume because the spreads are thin, and I'm gonna put a bid down, see if I can't grab a long, and see if we can't catch it on the pullback down towards 186. Stop on this is going to be about $2.5. We're almost filled. Valeria?
Hey, Arun, a lot of traders on the chat talk about Cassava Sciences. Sava is up more than 6%, guys. Do you see any opportunities for yourself in this name today?
Sava, okay, we will definitely look at Sava. Right now I'm a little bit focused on Ford, as it's starting to go back up to 1280. We did have Cassava Sciences on the radar the last couple days, but for right now, I'm just looking at these names. Roku's bouncing around as well. SoFi in the money. Hopefully Clover now, that 3 cents. We're waiting in the 60s for that one, up near VWAP. Hopefully we can get out a piece of that right there. And then SoFi, Roku, and we will look at Cassava Sciences. And I got to give a big shout out here to my daughter as she puts the peace signs up, throw them bows up, their little one, and so very proud of her. It's all rainbows today as we go over to school, and she throws up those signs. So thank you to my gorgeous wife for sending that out to me as well. And you can tell that my daughter does not get her looks from me. So right up to the upside, Clover still going, but we will look at Cassava Sciences in a minute. Just got to deal with some of these trades.
Yep, I talked about it. I went ahead and grabbed it on the way back down. There was a nice little cross down that grabbed me in. The risk on this, I'm long just above 186. The stop on this is going to be just below 184. It's not going to be a hard stop. It's something I got to keep an eye on, see how the volume comes in. It's the aggressive crosses are coming in. As I get long, the aggressive crosses are coming in, so I do have to keep an eye on this. This might actually fall off very quickly, so that'll suck. But for now, we are okay with this GME position on the long side. Brendan?
That popped up a couple days ago, just rejoining the party. It looks like Enveric Biosciences. Remember, going back 2 or 3 days ago, we had a nice move in ENVB up 11.5%, guys, back to day highs here.
All right. And then what's happening right now is as the NASDAQ starts bouncing around, we do have a little bit of a problem now as Roku just bounces right off VWAP, which was kind of sucky because that was $2 in the money down there at VWAP, and we didn't take that. So I don't know. I still think that we have a chance to get going here. I mean, there's that bottom tick of 335.50 or so. You can see the price 337.50. So we're right in right now. I still believe in this name to the downside anyways. I don't know why it's positive today, but we do know that they do have ARK Invest and a whole bunch of people that are in there buying these dips. So we got to be very, very careful on that. This is what initially got me in was the headline that Amazon was coming out with new cars. That'll be the day. I mean, that might not even be far away from happening right now. But with Amazon coming out with their new TV line there, I thought maybe Roku would have much more of a move than what we're having right now. AMD up to 107.50. Oh, that CRDF. We will talk about Sava. I keep forgetting about that. The CRDF was another name that we had on our list here. 860 long. We talked about that cancer drug. So those of you that have been watching some of these plays like a Sava and so on and so forth, we know these can move when they get good news. So 860 on CRDF, guys.
Yeah, I looked at the chat, then I looked up. I was like, Givo, no. 7 even. Oh man, okay. You saw 630 and change was the exit, and then the second half, as soon as we broke 620, I was out of the remaining position, and here we are approaching 7 even on Givo. Okay, well, if you weren't in, it's kind of hard to catch it now. So there it's gone, guys. If you saw it early enough, you were able to play on it, but there it is towards 7 even. So I'm just gonna have to look at it, be like, damn, and then just walk away and see if we can't find a different trade to work with. Disney doing well. GME not doing well. Disney is doing well, up 65 cents. Remember, we caught it on the bid back down, back towards 87. Target on this is 187. 1-for-1 trade. See if we can grab along. I'm getting smoked this morning. Lulu was not good. GME is not good. At least, and then Apple spun around after being well in the money. Nvidia spun around after being well in the money. All while the futures are still going towards 22 and change. We are looking for shorts. Remember, we lost Apple. I was looking at Microsoft, see if we can't fade this. We're not there just yet, but there is a potential for a fade on the futures. I'm just keeping a close eye on it. It might happen if we can get back underneath 20, trade through 17, 18, maybe into 16 and change. But for now, though, strength is available on the markets. On the futures, you've got strength. Apple's still there. I'm not sure what to make of this whole thing, but Disney is doing well, so we'll just focus on the one stock that we are able to offset some losses with. So Disney approaching 187, so if we can't grab some targets there, 1-for-1 risk, I'm gonna sit just in front of 187, see if we can't get some out, half of it out and make some money there. And EFTR absolutely still on fire. It is ridiculous. I actually had an alert for EFTR at
Come on, Clover.
At 28.
Yeah.
28 is where, and then the alert went off, and I had so many other things I had to look at, so I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it. And then what, it halted at 30 something, 30 half, and then opened, went to 34, came back down.
Oh, right
and
there
then,
again? Okay,
yeah,
this is a good spot.
It's at 36 now. So like the window for my trade on EFTR has closed. It was gonna be a 28 long, but I think we clearly missed that boat,
shoot.
and we're not gonna get any trade on that one.
Guess what, Arun?
What's that?
You need to pay for shorts.
Well, it's not like I was going to pay for shorts anyways.
Me and Neil talked about this yesterday, that Arun was a man of principle. And if we don't, principles, if you don't plan on trading it to the short side and it's not one of your things that you're really looking for, then why even bother to pay for it? And I actually do agree with that. Some brokers do have pay for shorts available for lots of names. And again, if you don't have sort of that banger trade set up, then why even spend that capital to try to make a winner on something that's not there? So I'm going to right now grab some pay for shorts on EFTR. So I do like that 40 level. Arun, I'll let you know the price, but for right now, we got to go back over to Brendan.
Crazy one from yesterday, guys. Hellbiz. Remember, HLBZ went kind of crazy in the afternoon, all the way up here to 14.5, 15. Just popped back up on the radar here, breaking some support levels to the downside. Bull biz.
All right, so hold on. Before you get into this,
hold on.
No, I gotta do this.
I can't die to this.
No,
I'm
no,
the one that did the work.
No, I'll throw it to you after.
I'm just playing.
For anyone who's talking nonsense about me not paying for shorts, I have my own reasons. But let's see, Sean, will you still pay for shorts after you said you'll pay for it?
Shut up, Arun. No. So it's actually, now that I see it, guys, it is $2.78 per share is what we have to pay right now for EFTR. So talk about being hard to borrow. Yeah, me and Arun just kid. Look at SoFi right now. Cash register, ring the Reggie, SoFi. What up, SoFi? As you're coming down through here, a good trade for me on SoFi now. 12 cents in the money. We just took that out at 12.75. So, hey, man, or sorry, 15.75. Yeah, not 12.75. Good trade so far on SoFi. So really happy with the way that one's pairing out. That's going to be a good one. Oh, yeah, and look at you, Ford. Damn it. Why does this always, I need some trading help, guys, because honestly, like I always getting out at these bottom wicks. I just need to figure out how not to always punch out at the very bottoms of some of these trades, but at least we doubled up and we got right back in. We didn't double up. We took the same position backside. So now we got to make that back. I don't know if we'll get the positive on Ford today because of that hit, but it's nice that we resisted that at least. Anyways, I don't know what to do there. I need some help ASAP. So send over as much help as you can. There goes Clover now, 20 cents in the money, back to the upside. This is my best trade today so far, this buy on Clover and this buy on Clover. So far so good on Clove. My number one stock for the day is Clover, but SoFi is making that move as well.
Yep. Just an update, guys. I did cash out some of Disney in front of that 187, so I am down to half my position on Disney. Let's get the chart loaded. There you go. You see me? That little red arrow there. That's me getting out in front of at 187. Remember, it was a 1-for-1 trade. We caught it on the bell on the swipe back down towards 186, and here we are getting out in front of 187 and change. So we're good with that. GME, man. Okay, so we were looking for longs above 186. After it failed through 180, 186 long looked good, and then they broke right through 184, which made me get out. And now here we are at 182. This is starting to get a little too messy. I'll take a couple of hits, but only if they make sense. At this point, GME's moves, we're not going to go to the downside. We're not going to go to the upside. That means this is going to be a choppy session, at least for GME for today. So I'm going to walk away from GME as a whole. I'm done with that. One trade that I am looking at right now, ENVB, approaching highs. We're sitting just above 350 and change. For anyone who likes the low cap stuff, there you go. There you go. I got some 350s there. ENVB, nice little bounce off of 320 into the 350s. Took out, I want to say take out the high. We ticked above the high. Doesn't mean a whole lot, but the fact that we've got this kind of strength going into 350 and being able to trade it well, why not take a shot at the long? Stop on this is not even going to be towards the low. It's going to be 330. It's going to be 20 cents. I'm going to put the stop right there. If we fail twice at the top end around this 360, then it doesn't make any sense. But for now, though, we are looking for this to expand to the upside on ENVB. Brendan?
All right, guys, let's have a look at the S&P 500 here. We were talking about the overall markets, I should say. We were talking yesterday about, or in the pre-market, 4 days in a row setting up to the downside, but we've quickly reversed, obviously. S&P about 0.2, Dow the same. The NASDAQ here, both the composite and 100, trying to lead, so a good sign for a positive day when tech stocks are trying to lead. The Russell just went red, as we saw there, 0.01 to the downside here in Toronto. Exactly the same, only to the upside. Dead flat overall. Lululemon, one we were talking about in the pre-market, just kind of hanging out here, still up 12% for Lululemon, but not really doing a heck of a lot, stuck in its own range at this point. And NIO, Sean, just went positive, taking out that pre-market high. So a nice look here, some volume coming into NIO, guys. Back to you.
So yeah, okay, so that's good. So yeah, I'm not in that one, so that's why I was like, what? I thought maybe we were going to get filled there, but we did not get filled on that break. And actually, now that I look, I don't even have that order out. NIO, we talked about that today. We had some people asking us what our thought was on NIO, and I wanted to go long if we did break this 38.40, so we came very close to that. And then, like I said, like we basically picked that level. Not a surprise I didn't get punched long into that. We don't have an order out, but that's sort of the way our day's been going here today. And sterling silver brought up kind of a pretty good point to understand here, and that is, look at the NASDAQ. It's not doing anything, and a lot of these stocks are stuck in a very, very tight range. So that's why, like, when SoFi starts doing this, man, we're going to take some out. We still have 60% of this trade on. The same thing with Clover. We bought some sweet dips on Clover, man, and now you're back up to 970. This is another spot to get out. We don't need to make history here. Look at Ford. It goes up to 82. We get some out there right at VWAP, and then it drops right back down. So again, playing games, into a market like this can be very, very dangerous. So all I'm saying is that just, if your profits are there today, it's September. Generally speaking, it's been a negative month. It's the worst month, the September effect in history. That means good for shorts and for longs. It doesn't really matter. It's just about, maybe the volume may dry up here for this week, maybe even next week, and then get going after that. But who knows? Right now, we did see yesterday, and I remember when we came in today, Brendan said, maybe today might be just as slow as yesterday. Although we're able to find some winners yesterday, you do have to be very, very specific on what you're trading. So please keep that in mind, as I'm going to get out some more Clover now, as it just broke through 70 on the downside.
Yeah, something that's still breaking to the upside is futures. Now we're at 24, still going strong. Again, we're not looking for shorts until we can get it back underneath 17, 18 and change. But for now, the strength is there. And I'm quite confused on the way that things are moving, especially with the index stocks. Apple slowly rotating back up towards 155.50, but not the kind of strength that you could justify the move in the futures. We are getting movement from somewhere else in the S&P 500 because it's not from Apple. Disney, we got out some in front of 187, tightened up stop on the remaining half, and we are out for 40-something cents on the remaining half. So about 96, 97 cents on the first half, and about 40-something cents on the second half. So we're going to net out, we're going to walk away. And the only trade I've got left is ENVB, which has come back from that 350 break. Not really a break, it was just the fact that it was getting up there and trading well above 350, so I took that shot. It's not really much of a break to look at. But for 20% risk on $3 stock with potential to the upside, I think it's worth the shot. So I went ahead and took it. I'm going to leave that alone. GME, anyone who's looking at GME and as I said, this is the last time I'm going to talk about it because I'm going to move this off the charts that I have up here. Anyone's looking at this and trying to figure out what to do with it, maybe shorts, I don't know. It's just confusing. The shorts were potentially in play in the morning as long as we held 180. We didn't. We broke 186, couldn't hold that. Spun back around. Here we are back underneath 180. For anyone who wants to play the roulette wheel on GME,
let's do it.
Enjoy, because I am walking away from this. But that's not my game at all. But I would prefer to play in something like an Apple, which is kind of difficult to trade today as well. We know Lulu's been a mess, so I'm not going to go back into that.
Yeah,
for anyone who's wondering, I remember last week or last time I was on, the question was, I think Sterling brought it up. It's like, would you rather pay $150 to make 10K? Absolutely. And to answer that question, the other part of that is I find that
we just got into support here.
There you go. We'll talk about support. But the other thing is that when I pay for shorts, I find that I tend to overtrade those stocks because you got to do it ahead of time.
Yep, that makes sense.
So it's almost a matter of me kind of controlling myself from overtrading. So I kind of do that thing where I'm like, I'm not paying for shorts. I don't care how cheap it is or how expensive it is. It's just a matter of me kind of protecting myself from myself. So on top of all the other stuff of me not wanting to pay, it's also more of a protective thing for myself because I know how I can get. If I know that I got to pay for it, it's a different story because at that point, that money's already been spent. Now I'm trying to make it back, and I might trade it more than I would rather prefer to trade it. So it's just one of those protective measures. And I'm sure you guys each one of us has our own tendencies to do certain things. So sometimes you got to do those things to protect yourself from yourself because we're human, right? We make mistakes like that, and we kind of can't avoid nature in certain aspects. So, Sean, what are you excited about? Spirit?
Yeah, support. Yeah,
support.
Yeah. You did the same thing that Neil does. Call this one Spirit as well. I was feeling some good spirits there. It took out 26, and I thought we were going to go, and we didn't. So we're long at 25.50 there. I don't know why we got 25.50 because that break should have been right about there. It was a daily chart, I believe. No, it wasn't. Was it the 10-minute chart? Why we got long at 25.50? Maybe we just tried this 25 break, and that's the price we wind up getting. So we don't get a great price here on SPRT, but we're going to use 24 as our out. The thing thing about it is we've already taken off half there for what I thought was a bigger winner than it was. It was only 25 cents. I thought we were long 25s there on the break. So now it's coming back down to the downside. It looks like it got washed out there at 26 on that support. So it just does break right there. We took a long. And then rate, I mean, I'm surprised it stopped there. We talked about it maybe stopping at around $28. So that's something that I want to look at right there on SPRT. Right now, coming to the downside, it's not going to be a great trade. If it does fail, we're going to get out at 24, which would be obviously a losing trade for me. But let's hold out on SPRT and see if it can't get going now. But that was a fail right there at that 26. But we tried it for you guys there on support. So nothing really to look at other than the 1 minute chart. Coming back in here to 24. That's right where view up is. So if we crack that, we're going to be gone on SPRT. Sorry that didn't work out. It went to 26, which was the dollar move, but then it failed at 26, giving us what we have right now. SoFi, though, 20 cents in the money. No crying over spilled milk on this one, as that's a banger. Now up to 84. Let's go, SoFi. We love you. What's up, Beep?
Peloton, guys. We talked about the apparel line coming for Peloton. Quite the day here so far. 6.8%, just made another day high, 103.
57.50. If we can get above there, we got above there. We cracked back down and sharply back down towards 255. And here we are back above 258 and change. So strength coming back in. So now I'm willing to play this game. Now Square is actually setting up in quite the way that in the way that I would want it to be. 258 and change to the upside, 255 and the low point would be the stop. So it's about $3. We have space to the upside. We can get to 260. We can get to 260 half, maybe $2.50 to the upside before we hit resistance. So I'm going to wait to see if we can actually get that move on Square. For now, though, it does look like Square wants to stall it out, take its time. That's perfectly fine. This took time to develop. So this trade to the upside takes time to develop as well, and that's perfectly fine. I think ENVB is going to be an absolute mess here. We're going to leave it alone, but it does not look like this is going to do exactly what I thought it was going to do. So 20-cent hit for now is probably likely, but if we can get back into the 345, 346, I might just walk away, take a 4 or 5 cent hit. It's not doing what I want it to do, so no point in holding on at that point. For now, Square and ENVB on the upside. Oh man, where is that one that I was talking about? Givo? Oh, Givo, absolute mess on Givo. Yeah, above 7 even. Now we're at 730 and change. And this sucker took it out for what, 30 cents and maybe 6 or 7 cents on the second half. 30 cents, something like that. It's probably 20 something cents and then 6 or 7 cents on the second half. And here it is up $1 and change. So anyone who's looking for a runner, there you go. Givo almost hitting, well, we're about 15 cents away from 750, which might bring in the next batch of volume resistance to the upside at a round number.
Yeah, we're watching this support. It looks like it's going to break right now through 24. So if that does happen, man, we're going to be out and flashed out of this one on support. We had the break. It was a good one for sure. We did take some out there for 25 cents. I thought it was bigger. Like I said, I thought we sort of had this 25 break, but we didn't. We got 25.50 there. So, you know, I think I'm going to chalk it up to a bad price, but whatever. Still not a great trade, so it doesn't matter. We'll wait to see if that does happen. And again, we did have some stop and go spots on support before at this level. I still think we could get to $30, but it doesn't look like it as it's going to break through 24 now. So we're going to get out of this one. I mean, I can hold it if I wanted to, all the way back down here to 20 or so, but that seems a little bit crazy. That would be the only level that I'm looking at next. So I'm not super in love with this. So a breakthrough 24, and we're going to be gone out of that one. SoFi, we've already cleaned it out. We only have 20% left. It comes right back into this area. We're not going to make that same mistake again. And then Clover, we emptied out of that one as well on the 10-minute chart here. You could see Clover, what just happened? That went all the way back up here. Didn't even see that all the way up to 985. So hopefully you guys did, and you're smoking on Clover, because we have that dip there. And then this was honestly a keystroke error. We didn't mean to get out of everything, but we did. And then that's where we got that out, or else I would have seen that, and that would have been a great short up there for Clover. Let's look to reload if it does come back in. I don't know if we heard Brendan or not. If we didn't, that's fine. Ford to 85 seems like it's struggling a little bit there on the top side. So that's that one. Let's check out on EFTR. And I apologize, man. My mind is everywhere today. Just trading a lot of different names. You can see I'm in a couple shorts, couple longs here. There's that EFTR does fade off on that. And remember, that was a beautiful short. That's why I went over there and looked. And it looks like, and you know, everyone can have their own thoughts on trade on pay for shorts, but it looks like that $3 might have been fine because that's how much it would have cost. We could have been short here 34, 35 down to 29, but we would just be covering our pay for shorts right now. So for me and for Arun, that was way, way too expensive there. But let's just keep on going. I'm waiting for Roku to actually do something. We're stuck in a range here on Roku. Futures falling. I think this one could be a big winner.
Yep. Is it here, Brendan? No? Yeah, Brendan, what's up?
ProQR Therapeutics, another little one just popping up here, looking at a licensing agreement announced today with Eli Lilly. So if you're wondering on that PRQR, another one, 22.75% here, trying to get to highs as well, guys.
Yeah, I noticed that people were in the chat were complaining about YouTube. I'm starting to notice some hiccups here as well on my charting platforms. Not sure what's going on. So see if we can get that fixed. Maybe it's not just...
Maybe it's our internet?
Well, it can't be just our internet. It must be like a global thing, right? It's got to be some sort of hiccup somewhere. Okay, so let's just wait for this. For now, though, we are sitting on PRQR. I actually just stepped into PRQR on the upside. We broke. I had this actually set off at 840 and change. If we got above 840, I was going to take the long with a 30-cent stop. So 810 is going to be where the stop is going to sit. I'm just looking for expansion. It was a multi-day thing. Not multi-day. It was there's some activity in the pre-market or aftermarket session from yesterday that if we got above, I think we had a decent chance of getting some strength there. I took the shot there. It's a low risk shot, so why not take it? At that point, we've got strength there on PRQR going up to the upside. Square still flirting with 258, so waiting for some more consolidation if we can get that expansion towards 260. And ENVB still kind of flirting, but again, at this point on the ENVB, I'm going to do damage control, see if I can take a smaller hit than necessary. I'm okay with the 4 or 5 cent hit, and otherwise I'm going to have to let this go towards 330.
A big shout out to Alex Enzo there. Thank you so much, Alex Enzo. I was very, very lucky to be watching you right now, and I just saw this right now, bail out of SPRT. I just took some out. Let's go up to 2609 now, so that's good. We've taken some nice profits on that one. Oh man, it missed us again. No support. What are we doing? It just went up to 26 and change. We thought we would take that out. We are sitting, we just want to take out some of it at 2650. So if that can crack, then let's go, man. Support. Damn you. But thank you, Alex Enzo, man. You just saved me a little bit there as it comes right back out, and we got out for basically flat on one part, a third of what we had left. So we did get bailed out a little bit there. Thank you so much, Alex, for that one. That was a great call and a big save there because it almost cracked us out at 24, man. And then we came right back up, and thank you for that. Or else, honestly, man, I would not have noticed it. So that's a good save for me right there. Thank you for that. And then Ford also on a rip city right now. So what was a good idea to go long on Ford apparently should have been even longer, I guess, because right now Ford, nice move to the upside. We took the same position there, but if you know, this was an average price of like, I mean, I have to find out. I was doing different share sizes in here. I can't really remember. I'm going to say it was about a dime worth of a hit because by the looks of it, you know, we're light in the pre-market, that's for sure. We probably got a decent amount of shares there. 80s was where we were defending. That's probably my biggest position. Then we were giving it to a break of 75. So I would say this is only 3 averages in. So my average price probably would have been about 80, and then there's the out at 72. So now we're long 76, and it's back to 86. So, you know, damage well averted, it looks like so far here on Ford. But let's go over to Brendan and see what's up.
Another earnings name we talked about very briefly in the pre-market, but mentioned RH, formerly Restoration Hardware. Nice quarter for them. Nice move here as well. 7.25%. This is a $725 stock now. Back to the top end of the range on RH, guys.
And I do have Brittany Grant. What's up, Brittany? You've been with us for a while. Nice, Brittany. And I see that you've graduated, but I think that was your picture for a while. It's hard for me to see this on there. We will look at PLTR, and I don't mind finding out a little bit about Tilray here as buying the dip. I'm not hating on Palantir. I mean, Palantir investor. right there. But we will look at Palantir and again. And what I want to talk about with Brittany Grant there was set some alerts. She was saying, look, man, I mean, I do have alerts set up. Unfortunately, it's hard for me to set alerts and talk and trade and hold 5 positions. But so that's part of the problem, but I do have to get better at identifying when the stocks are in the money for me, other than just looking at the blotter here. It's hard when you have so many different names, and we're trying to get some different opportunities for all of our viewers and for you guys as well. So, and for us as well. And thank you to Brendan for coming out with some big names. We can look at Palantir here quickly. Ooh, yeah, that. Someone messaged me yesterday and was like, "What do you think about Palantir at 25?" And I said, BTFD. I mean, you have to. You got to buy these dips on Palantir. I really believe in it. As you can see, I mean, this is why, Arun, people are saying, why am I hating on Palantir? Because normally this is what my days look like on Palantir, where they're littered. What up, Randy? He's back in the building now. You know, big dip buy there was offered up on Palantir. Those of you that had that, congratulations. I do love Palantir and will always love it because Prad got me the hat. Memes and movers, guys. Back ASAP today. Again, they were here yesterday. They killed it. They're back today till 12:30 at 11 o'clock. It's Miss V and Trader Prad. Let's go. Daryl says, I don't know how you do it, man, but that is what it is, man. I do have alerts. I'll have to get going on that as well. Thank you so much, Kling Daddy, as well. You know, not only am I trying to trade, but also, you know, carry the show with Arun here. It's just Arun, Brendan, and I on the show. And we got to throw to Miss V a bit more. We're going to work on that. But it's been difficult sometimes to trade, be somewhat comedic, trying to talk about different things as well. But I do want to thank all of our viewers for watching. And this show's only getting bigger and better, in my opinion, anyways. So tell your wife, tell your friends, tell everybody, share us, please. You know what? Let's do quickly, before I go, I want to get Miss V on the screen soon, because I'm going to do a like request. So if you haven't hit the likes, get ready to hit it, because I'm going to put V on the screen very, very soon. Arun, what are you looking at, my friend?
I'm looking at PRQR. Remember, I mentioned this at 840. I went long. Yeah, well, it's already at 875. So we're covering the risk on the first portion of our trade here. I got out some just in front of 870 just to cover. It's about 30 cents and change. The risk on this trade was 30 cents. So why not protect ourselves? In the event that this were to slow down and come back aggressively, we can actually say that hey, you know what? We made money, or at least walked away slightly flat. So I'm okay with this. For now, I've taken half the position out in front of 870, and we're going to leave that alone. Square. I don't know what's going on today, but today is not my day, guys. I am long on almost everything. I'm wrong on almost everything I touch, even if it's in the money at one point. It is coming back hard. So Square came right back through 257. The risk on this was $1. They've already taken that out. So add another stock to the loss pile there. So we do have PRQR helping kind of recoup some of these losses here. We had Disney. I'm actually working my way out of, no, I'm not. I thought I was going to work my way out of ENVB. Somebody was asking, well, is it too late? Isn't that long a little too late? It might be. It might be actually not a little too late. It might be a little too early. We may have to wait for that 560 to go. So I might just take the hit soon on ENVB, see if you can't walk away from this, and just take a 2-3 cent hit, walk away, reset. If it gets back above 360, maintain some strength, then we can actually come back in, pay up what we need to pay. But for now, though, the risk on this was originally about 20 cents or so. I'm starting to realize that it's not going to be worth that risk. May have made a mistake by getting in front of 360 instead of 350. So we're going to see if we can't do some damage control on that. Given how the day is going, I think the name of the game for me is damage control and reduce the losses, because clearly futures wants to keep on going up but not provide another trade for me. I'm still looking at that 18, 17, 18, maybe 16 level as potential resistance point or support points, that if we can break that, then I can actually work the short, because we are sitting in a major resistance level in the mid-20s. As long as we can get down, we can actually get some confirmation of some selling and go for the short. But for now, though, just the 2 longs. I'm going to do damage control on one of them and see if we can get some extension on PRQR to the upside. Maybe some 9s are on board. Brendan?
Hey guys, yeah, small cap time. We were talking in the pre-market about how pretty slow day in small cap world. One of the hardest things to do as a trader is when there's nothing to do, to not do things that are not profitable. So just keep that in mind. GSAT, we were talking about pre-market as we headed towards the open there. I said 260 and 280, the top. Very, very clear levels, got all the way up there to the number, turned on a dime, came right back down. So GSAT still kind of hanging out here around 280, kind of within the range from yesterday, but Again, not really doing much, just kind of chopping around. Decent volume, though, once again, and liquidity. For that one, here's where I mentioned that you know, don't do things that aren't profitable. This one's already scaring me. This HELBIZ, HLBZ down 20%, but this is crazy thin. Trades 50 cents to $1 at a time almost. Be very careful if you're dealing with this one today. 11 is the line in the sand for HLBZ. And then CRDF, I was looking at this one as well. 860 and the 9 from aftermarket yesterday. Gets above 860, probably test 9. But again, not really doing much, just kind of chopping around, guys. Back over to you.
Oh, every time I try to forget about this, chat keeps reminding me. Jivo, no. Now at 750 we got to? Oh, okay, I gotta stop looking at this. Every time the chat talks about Jivo, I'm gonna ignore it now. I have to ignore it because I can't look at this. Another $1.20 on Jivo. Okay, let's talk about the one I do have. I'm trying my way out of ENVB. We're not getting the offer that I want. So it's there. We might get the fill soon. And nope, still can't get some volume done there. So I'm still waiting to do some damage control on ENVB, about 4 or 5 cents or so. It's going to be the loss on that. What was the other one? Oh, yeah, PRQR. It's starting to slow down a little bit. It was slowing down around 870 and change, starting to take its time to do what it wants to do. Again, at this point, since we've locked in risk on the first portion, we can let this go. If this wants to go through 9, if you want to go through 10 today, I'm open with that idea. So for now, though, we're just going to do some trail management on this trade. We've locked in, so it's just a matter of figuring out where we're going to put our trail. I think I'm thinking just below 850 for now. We should not. This kind of movement is not going to hold up forever. So at some point, this is going to have to come back, and I just got to be able to absorb the selling that's coming back down through there. So I think 850 should have some volume that can take it. If they lose 850, then I think I can just walk away, maybe up 4 or 5 cents on the remaining half of this position. For now, though, PRQR is the only position I've got, and we're looking for the upside move. And we have flattened out ENVB damage control there, about 4 cents, I believe, on ENVB on the loss there.
All right, so Arun, let's just run this right now because it's going to be a good trade for us. We'll do the backflips right here because SPRT support, giving us that support that we need here off that 24, man. That was, I mean, we called that level. That was a huge, huge level. So really glad that we're able to call that. And I hope that you guys have a bang in your life today because that was a good one. Up to 26.50 there. We haven't done some bangs in a while. No pun intended there, but we're going to go up to the upside now. 26.25, still making that move. Man, did we call that 24. Sometimes we're good and sometimes we make those calls, which are great. I just wish we would have gotten more long. So it's good, not great. Should have reloaded up there, but that was a good one for us. SoFi, the only mistake that I made, unfortunately, on Clover today was that I made a keystroke error there and got out of everything, which was fine. It was a 25-cent win, but there goes Clover to the upside. And again, if you are, we're going to throw to Brendan in a second, but if you're on with us, Val in a second, if you're on with us, this is Clover, man, 965 long. We talked about that all day. Oops, maybe you can't see that. We talked about that all day on our Sticky Notes, so please join Sticky Note Nation if you have not as of yet. But let's go over to Ms. V and see what's cracking.
Thank you, Sean. And hey, guys, it's like o'clock. Team, we have 5,000 people watching us right now, and we need just 300 more likes to get 1,500. So we would really appreciate if you spend 1 second, less than 1 second, and hit thumbs up to the upside. We work really hard every day to build the community, and we would really appreciate to hear back from you with your likes. Smash the like, and back to Sean.
Yeah, make sure we start smashing some likes here because honestly, like we should be at 2,000 at least. Like we're at 967 likes with over 5,000 people watching. I mean, you know, we do the show for free. I've had over 100 fills today. Arun is in the building. If we don't get to, wait a second, I didn't even hit the like yet. There we go.
Oh, Sean. Sean talking that nonsense again.
Yeah. So if you don't hit the like now, then I will be a little bit upset. So we do, you know what? We do have some YouTube problems. Like normally I'm hitting that like. So even now I have to refresh. Okay, there we go. 1.7K now. So I don't know how many likes we just got off right there, but there we go. Thank you so much. I believe whatever. I mean, normally I'm hitting the like there, so thank you for calling me out on my own mistakes there. But we are happy with spirit and support. Thank you so much. There it is, man. Look at this is what we're talking about here. Thank you so much. Everybody loving it. Some jokes there. And again, I just broke my finger. Please look at mRNA for a short. So we will look at mRNA Sterling, and thank you for not just Sterling, but thank you to everybody here for smashing that. Now 1.8. What were we at when we started that like count, Valeria? How much? 1,400. Okay, so we're almost near the 2,000. Thank you so much for doing that. But I got a little bit more on my mind right now as Ford continues to run up. And then that Clover, we love that. Ford right now, though, 12.85. Probably worth getting some out here for the dime piece.
Yeah, ENVB, okay. Above 360 now. 4 or 5 cent hit, damage control. Yeah, now it looks like it was a great trade. Again, this is a confusing one. This would ideally be where you would want to get long. After seeing what I saw, 360 would make sense. But now that we're accelerating, I'm going to have to wait for some more information. Why do we hesitate twice now? I want to see what we can do with some sell-side volume. If we were to bring in some sell-side volume again at these 360s, is it going to be able to support it? If the answer is yes, then the longs are in play. If the answer is no, then there's a problem. I'm going to walk away from this. For now, I'll keep it up on the chart, but it does look like this is something to keep a very close eye on if we can actually get some extension or not. PRQR, again, trail stop just below 850 and change. See if we can grab that protection to the downside. And ADR, I noticed the chat was talking about ADR. ADR, well, okay, towards 10, broken 10 actually. It's high as 1010 or something like that. We do have to worry about the high from yesterday, right? It's around 1047, call it 1050. What's your risk on this? Because if you go long 10, you're gonna have to get that high taken out. If the high can't go, then are you risking 50 cents to make 50 cents potentially? Or are you risking 50 cents to potentially take out the highs? And it's all a matter of risk control at that point. So for me, at 10 even, if this trade was around 950, I think it makes more sense because then you can argue that, hey, we've got $1 to the upside. But at 10 even, if you take out the highs, yes, you may keep going, but what are you putting up in risk to take that shot? And for me, I can't figure it out. I'm maybe 850, you could argue, to the upside, but that's like $1.50 in risk. So I'm going to say no to that shot on ADR for now, though. Apple finding some stability. Futures going sideways at 45.25. Apple finding some stability around 155 and change. Here we are above 155.50. So Apple starting to base out a little bit, find some bids, find some volume to keep the market afloat, I guess, for the moment. But if we can get this back above 156 and change, that'll be impressive because it was quite the move off the open, up to the upside, to the downside, and now we're starting to stabilize and get back to the upside. Futures, you can see this. We're just waiting for some more push. We're waiting for more of a push from these index names. If Apple can get going, I think we can really get a shot at that 45.35. If we break 45.35, though, then I've got to flip my read for potential longs, and that's a completely different scenario. If we get to this at some point while the show's on, I'll talk about it at that moment. If we do it while the show's off, I'll talk about it in the second part of our show, in the afternoon show. So come back for that. Brennan?
I just saw this database company, Couchbase, not Coinbase, but Couchbase, which is in the IT services and database business. I just had to read that because I've never heard of these guys before. Recent IPO going back to July here. They reported aftermarket yesterday. Went from 52 down to 44. Aftermarket, we're back to 42 here. So a couple of alerts on volume here for Couchbase, guys, the winner of the best name today. Let's get a check on how things are shaping up so far over in Europe. Miss V is watching. What's going on over there? What's up, V?
Hey, Brandon, European markets are mixed. EasyJet trading in London is down more than 10% after it rejected a takeover approach from Wizz Air. Back to you.
Yeah, a bit of a choppy session over in Europe once again, guys. Same story in North America.
All right, we just did empty out. Yeah, I mean, very, very choppy. I mean, we talked about that all day basically today. And thank you again for joining us, and thank you for watching because right now, as Randy just said, we just crossed 2K. So thank you so much for that number there. Really happy with that amount of likes. So thank you so much for that. And again, the show, you know, we're trying to put on the best show for you, and I think we do a pretty damn good job of that. So one more time, thank you to everybody for that. Okay, so we just got, I mean, where's my favorite key? This is my favorite key. I almost think, Lucas, we'll wait for Rob to come back, but I'd love a better graphic or something for this one because
okay, I'm reloaded.
So there we go. So we're reloaded up now on SoFi. We took that 45, 46 bid there. Now we're back up to 51. This looks like this could be a good trade again for us on SoFi. Just loaded up on this bottom here of yesterday. So now we'll wait till see if it cracks through this bottom or through this top, I guess, 1540. But again, celebrating maybe a little bit too early. Let's see where we go here on SoFi right now.
Yep, I am just actually looking, see if I can't find another stock. Chat was talking about UPSC. I remember trading this and I did well last time I traded it. So I'm like, oh, is there a trade in it? It's down like 3%, trading up at 266. But again, what do? It's mid-range. I'm not sure there's any trade here. We like cleaner trades. At least I prefer to take cleaner shots. Not a fan of range trading. I try to avoid as much as I possibly can. Sometimes you can say, you know what, I can put the range top here, range bottom here. If we get to the bottom of the range, you can play that game. It's a different type of mentality, right? Try to play inside of ranges is different from playing breakouts or, I guess technically that's all you can really do. I play inside the range and play the breakout, right? With the breakout, you're looking for a trend. So that's obviously the easier play, but for me, range trading is something that I'll do on the futures, but I won't do it on the stocks just because the amount of attention you need to keep an eye on volume, support zones, all that stuff, I just can't do it on multiple stocks at the same time. Futures, on the other hand, I only trade one thing, so I can always keep an eye on that. So for me, range trading in UPSD, no go for me. But if we can get above 278, you might have a shot towards the upside, or chart above the upside so that you'll have potential support if we get that breakout through 278. But for now, though, as long as we stay between 260 and 278, no go on UPSC. So yeah, to start throwing some more stocks in there, and I'll take a look at them, see if I can't find something for myself. And of course, ENVB is still going now. It's 367. Oh, okay. This has been the name of the game, not my day, guys. So be wary. If you're wondering why is Arun doing this, probably because he doesn't know what he's doing. At least for today. At least for today, I'm going to say that. Until I step into the futures, then I know what I'm doing. But for now, though, it's the name of the game is we're going to take things slowly now. Given how the morning's gone, I'm going to slow things down. We're going to manage PRQR properly and see if we can't find really good setups because at this point, that's all you can really do, right? Keep looking for more trades, but not just, I want to say tighten up the criteria a little bit because sometimes you go for trades that are like, oh, you know, they look half decent, they're good. Now I'm like, they got to be really good for me to take a shot, given how the morning's gone. So that affects the way you trade the rest of the day. It really shouldn't. But when you've got this many names in front of you, you've got to tighten it down so you're not taking 5, 6, 7 trades because it's a lot to manage at the same time, right? So we're going to tighten things up and see if we can find some better trades to work with.
Okay, so I know that there's in the works, but I believe there is something going on with Moderna. It's either they're talking right now, not like an investor day, but there's something right now. You guys kept talking about it, and Brendan, we just asked. He's going to find out the exact details, but there is that double shot issue happening right now for them. I know a lot of you guys are talking about a short. Like, as long as there's something going on, you know, with the company, or a talk right now or anything like that. I just think this is a very, very risky short at these levels, but it looks like we're going to make a high right here of 448. So to me, I don't mind the short right now with a 450 idea coming through. So, I mean, if we can get that, that might be a good opportunity to go short now, then watch out for 450. Key level, but you see how it's just like ramping up here, volume picking up right now all of a sudden, obviously since the market opened. So there's a lot of volume coming through, like double, triple, quadruple what it was yesterday. So, I mean, I will be very, very careful with this short, guys, here on Moderna. So just watch out for it. I think if we break back down below maybe this 445, maybe we have something, but right now, I mean, any short here today, unless you're able to catch some of this chop, you would have been okay, but just be very, very careful. Goldman Sachs talking, a bunch of different things happening right now. What up, B?
It was the 2021 Research and Development Day. So they updated basically their entire drug portfolio, which included that single shot combination of COVID and normal flu that they're now working on. There was also further details on some of the testing that's going on for the 6 to 11-year-old range for their COVID-19 vaccine as well. So yeah, lots to digest there for Moderna.
All right, I noticed the chat was talking about Clover. Okay, I pulled up Clover. I was like, yeah, okay, that was actually on my list of stocks to watch above 10. I'm waiting for just about, not even 10 even exactly, because I feel like there's enough resistance there, at least for now, until they can get through it. But I want to zoom in on this. This right here, going back to yesterday, right here, 1007 seems to be the high. I'm going to give 10 enough space to see if we can actually get through that through 1010. If we get above 1010, I think I'll jump on board on Clover. This has been a nice little consolidation breakout to the upside, but I do worry about the volume, especially yesterday when we broke 10, came back above 1010, 1007 seems to be the high point on that cross back above 10. I'm going to use that. If we get above that, then I'll take a look at Clover. For now, though, it's just going to stay on my radar. You see it's struggling with 10, right? It got above 10, got to 1002. Volume is coming in. We're waiting for some more action, get some buy strength. If we get that, then we have a chance. But for now, though, just I'm putting it up on my radar. Keep it up. See if we can keep an eye on it. And 1010 would be the entry point for me on that. PRQR, attempting to get to 9. Here we are, we came back to 555, 855, 856. Now we're at 890, we're backing off a little bit. 9 even would be the next round number on PRQR. And that would be right now, as of right now, it's a 42-cent winner. If we can get above 9, you may have a run on stops above a round number. It's up 30% on the day already. So quite a move for a $7 stock. And if we can get above 9, we really have a chance to get going because the next batch of stops could go off, pushing this even further. So keep an eye on PRQR, guys. For now, that is the only position I've got. I'm still looking for more. Ader is one of those names. The chat talked about it. I looked at it. Ader was getting through 10. It was struggling through 10, actually. And then here we are at 10.15 to 10.20 at the moment, actually. And here's my concern with Ader. If you had 950, okay, but now the risk, actually I talked about this already. There's no point in going over it, but the risk on this is becoming a problem. Above 1050, we look at this again, above 1050, but I've already talked about the risk being an issue with where do you put the risk, right? It's gonna have to be $1.50 and change for a 50-cent run. So I'm gonna just move out of the way on Ader. We are keeping an eye on the index names, like I said, Apple, Microsoft. Those names are something I gotta keep an eye on just because of the way futures are moving. If we lose the futures, and we lose the stocks at the same time, those top two names, Apple, Microsoft, lose both of them, and the futures comes off a little bit, you might have the ability to fade this fairly quickly. But for now, though, we're getting decent strength on Apple, we're getting decent strength on the futures, creeping up higher and higher, so we'll let this go, and we're just gonna manage what we have and see if we can't get this thing to go a little bit further.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we're gonna flush ourselves on the toilet as well, Arun, now, so we'll just do a, I guess it will put it in the gates of hell as goes Roku. What was a nasty trade here because unfortunately we did have winners and we didn't take them, and now Roku decides to take off. So, I mean, how many times did we see this? This was really stupid because we were short 338, man. I mean, this touched 337 a bunch of times down here, and we should have just identified that this was a problem, and unfortunately we didn't. So that's I mean, everything's going to be on me, but we should have definitely hit that short right there and got out of that. So, but we didn't. So now we pay the price as Roku continues to go up. We still are holding a very, very small piece of it, just in case, but we cannot be positive on that name. We do look, though, the last couple of days we've stopped around this 345 area. So, there could be some sort of a shorts into that, but again, not super excited about that as it looks like we've messed that one up pretty good for Roku today. So that's going to be really the only loser that we have. I mean, we have Roku and we have IPL, not IPL, Ford. Other than Ford, let's go back to the 1 minute chart here. This is now making nice moves to the upside. So we will have a problem because we got out there, but at least we put the same shares back in and now we're back to the upside. So if we just had done that a little bit better, maybe we would have had some more luck. But unfortunately right now with Ford, not really moving to where we need it to be, but it's nice that it's made its way all the way back. Tomorrow, we're more patient with Ford, but I am going to be on this name tomorrow. That's for sure. Let's give Ford another shot up to 1291. That looks like a pretty sweet board over there. I like it when there's the blue screens instead of the red. So let's throw it over to Brendan for happening now.
Yeah, a bit of a bounce back day. Nice to see for the overall market here. I mean, it's only 0.3%, we'll call it, for the S&P 500, but positive is positive. 3 straight days to the downside. We're seeing a bounce back in the travel names to kick things off here. Industrial group in positive territory. There's this ODFL down 3%, but everything else here is all the airlines up nicely, guys. Almost 5% now for AAL. Back as well to the upside. UAL, Love, Dow, and Alaskan here all 2+% in positive territory. Capital goods all in positive territory. CPRT, if you're wondering what that is, 5% in negative territory. RHI and J, though, helping to offset that. If we flip over to some of the banking stocks, you're going to find in positive territory today, leading as far as the gainers. are concerned. So positivity coming back after a couple of days that were kind of choppy back and forth, negative to positive. WLTW earnings names 4.4%. Regions there leading the way, earnings name as well, CFG as well, all about 3% to the upside. Apparel makers, we've been talking about Lululemon. Tapestry is here, Ralph Lauren, Under Armour, all Nike here as well, all 2+% in positive territory today. Here's the rest of the travel names, hotels, cruise lines, all same story. 2% to the upside. Offsetting that, there's Biogen down 6%. Right beside it though, Moderna up 5.5%, so those kind of canceling each other out. Eli Lilly not having a great day either, 2.8% in negative territory. So healthcare stocks kind of weighing to the downside along with real estate and consumer staples. Energy and material stocks also, the entire group's in positive territory. So overall, pretty choppy, guys. About 0.25% for the S&P. Back to you.
Yeah, Moderna. When you said Moderna, I was like, oh no. Moderna up 6%, up $26 on the day, $26.50 on the day, above 440. That would have been a long. That would have been an easy long. Now that you look at the chart and see how it moved, great. But Moderna is one of those stocks that I find very tricky to trade. I kind of put it aside. I've traded it a couple times while I was here in the last couple weeks, and it is very difficult. It gets really choppy. Bids drop out. It kind of does this little flush right off the open. Even if it's a long, it'll just kind of drop a few bucks. Kind of move in the opposite direction and then spin back around after. It's weird. The movement is weird. So I kind of like, when you start to see stocks that kind of act a little weird, trade a little weird, much more different than what you're used to, I kind of walk away from it. And Moderna is one of those names I've traded a couple times, like I said, and then it just got a little too confusing for me. So I kind of just took it off my list. One stock that is a lot easier to read, Clover. Clover, we just got above that high that I was worried about, 10.07 and change. If we can stay above, yeah, if we can get above 10.10, I think you have a potential trade on Clover. To the upside, what do we got for resistance? You can look at 10.30, maybe 10.40 as the first resistance level. So what are we looking at? If we got 20 cents to the upside, can we get away with the 20-cent stop? The answer is probably, actually no, actually we can actually. Maybe 9.80, 9.75 could work. I'm still looking at this. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, we can make that work. So we can take that trade. Given the upside potential and what the risk to the downside is, that would be something that I would be looking towards on the upside. Clover at 10.10 and change. Apple coming back off. What are the futures doing? Apple, here comes Apple failing that 155.50 again. Futures coming back off a few points. Okay, we're back in sync a little bit now. Coming off from that 45.25. Again, we're looking for resistance here. So this kind of coming off a little bit is expected, and as long as we can maintain this sell side pressure coming into that support point, previously resistance around that 45.20 area, as long as we can get underneath there and maintain that selling, I think then you have the potential short just below there with 45.35 as your stop. For now, though, we are waiting. We're just keeping an eye on it, and that's all we can really do. And there goes Clover above 10.10, so that means I got to get my bids in, see if I can catch a fill on the way back down on Clover.
We should have refreshed that Clover trade. I think it's going to be trade of the day for numerous reasons. And you know, it's just we should still be in this. This was a mistake. We got out of too many shares there. We could have reloaded. Didn't even realize that it went back down to 960 there. And again, this is what I'm talking about with getting better and getting some more alerts and things like that so that we don't miss some of these trades. But Clover, wow, what a good one. And again, really, really happy that it's on the sticky note and it's one of the #1 names that we had there. And it's still my #1 stock on the day is going to be Clover. So good on that. Ford now up, keeps on going, man. You know, this story does not end for me. I'm still pretty long on Ford, so hopefully this will get right back up. We talked about 13. That's coming through a little bit faster than we had thought, so that's going to be a good one as well. Roku is really the bane, you know, unfortunately going to be a bad trade for me, but SoFi, we did reload. Now we're right back to the high here on SoFi, so let's let this one keep on going. This is now 11 cents in the money, SOFI here on the New York. So we did reload it. We do like SoFi, or sorry, on NASDAQ. We did reload it a bunch of times, or not one time, but a lot of shares there, so that was a good one. We'll take some outs now at 58 right there, and then just see where we go as we just get filled there on 58. So that's going to be a good trade off this 45 reload. This one also could be a good trade of the day here. We'll wait to see. If we get back anywhere up here, then we got to take this out one more time, but that's going to be a good trade for us there on SoFi. And then Roku, I do want to give it one more stab, unfortunately, up here at 243 with a 245. You can see here on Roku, there's 245 right here. So as that comes into play, I'll short into that level, but I am surprised now. Roku, we did get stopped out of this one. This is my worst trade today and a negative name for me, but that is what it is right now on Roku as that's still starting to go. AMC, there's Ford. We got that one. AMC not really doing too much. We did stop looking at GameStop early. Again, maybe a little bit too early, but 46.70 here. Let's just check out a 1-minute chart. This is why we're not really on AMC right now, but we are looking to take out 47. That is something that could be interesting for us. But there's that dip again, and again, just more missed trades today, but there's a nice little buy at 45 and change. We talked about that today, but I was more looking at 44.50 or 45 even, so we didn't really get down there, but a nice move for AMC right here, back up to the upside. Check out its partner in crime, GameStop, very, very disappointing today for GameStop from a day trade side of things here. Okay, again, here's my thing. GameStop short up to 190. We talked about that one. Not sure why we're not short right there, 188 and change, but that was a good trade for GameStop if you were able to get that one. That was a clean 10 bucks. What was I doing this morning? But anyways, there it goes, GameStop. That was a good short up to 190. And again, it's all on here. And if you're not looking at the sticky note, like I'm apparently not, no guidance, looking to short it back to 190. Well, it goes back to 190, and we didn't short it. So there you go. A couple mistakes, even by myself today. But hey, it's been a good day. Lots of winners, a few losers, and we only have 10 minutes to go before Memes and Movers with Trader Pratt and Miss V. So the day is about to get even more exciting, guys.
Yeah, a couple positions I just took on. Well, Clover we talked about just above 1010. CRDF was an order I had left this morning. I grabbed it, actually, it was actually in the money, about 14, 15 cents. I left it here to catch it on the way back down, see if I can just jump on a bid as volume dried up a little bit. So just in front of 780, I was able to grab a long. It bounced all the way to 795 and failed now, coming back into support, so we are going to leave it alone. Stop on this is fairly tight. It's about 40 cents, just below 750, so we're going to leave that alone and see if we can catch that bounce to keep on going. The other one, SPRT, I just stepped into this one above 25. I was looking at this like, okay, how are we going to trade this? If we can get above 25.50, trade a little bit, I am okay with catching it on the way back down. It came back down aggressively towards 24.50. And then I was like, okay, as long as we can maintain some support buying back above 25, the long is in play. We got some, and then we instantly spun back, brought some selling back in. Technically speaking, this one is still good because of the way that it's been trading through this 24.5 earlier in the day. So that's the only reason I was willing to pay up to 25 to get it. So 24 would have to be the cut point here. It's about $1 and change, but if we leave 24, this thing has topped out, and I think you got to look at 22 and change as your potential target to the downside. But for now, though, as long as it can actually catch a bid in an area where we've caught bids before, we're okay with this. But it does look like there's some selling coming in. Clover as well, coming off a little bit from that 1010. You see my offer there. That's me trying to make one-to-one risk on the trade there. And CRDF finding some support in front of that 780. We were expecting some support around 780. So we got that fill. We're up to like 2 or 3 cents on CRDF for now.
Ooh, I like that CRDF. We did talk about that a little bit, not as much as we were expecting that to run, even a little bit higher there. SoFi up to 1260 again. So our last out was here at 58. We'll take a 60 if we can get it. I don't know if it just went to 64 or 65, but I'm going to wait also in the mid 60s just in case that does come back in there for us on SoFi. So we're going to watch out for that one right here. But hopefully we get out at 1260. That's that. Spirit, Clover, you already talked about that. GME going back right now to 189. Okay, thanks for that, Sterling. Back up to that one. Yeah, okay, yeah, it is starting to make a move back up. So we did miss that. Hopefully we can hit that again at 188 or so short. Let's not wait for the ultimate top, but that should be a good one. And then if it takes out 190, then Bob's your uncle. But right now, one person at the big screen looking at Money Talks, my favorite segment. Hopefully the Canadian dollar is down, which I don't think it is. Actually, it is probably down. The Canadian dollar has been weak. I need it to be a little bit stronger, but that's okay. We have some Canadian investments that are working out fine for us. So let's go over to Brendan and see what's happening at the big board.
It is currency time, guys. Let's get right into things here. We're seeing a bit of a sell-off today. Not huge. We're off the lows, though, 0.06 for the dollar. The U.S. dollar to the downside today. It's been back-to-back sessions higher for the U.S. dollar, so a bit of a pullback today, which has a lot of these back in positive territory, including, Sean, the Canadian dollar up 0.3, back above 79 cents for the CAD today, whereas the British pound leading the way, 0.6%, 138.5. once again for the pound down here. They got a tax hike passed in the UK on Wednesday to help fund more social and healthcare initiatives. So that has the dollar, or the British pound, I should say, back in positive territory. This is a daily chart, so you can see a nice day for the pound. Back to the upside, Japanese yen, Swiss franc coming off a bit, 0.4. They usually trade one and the same. Australia, New Zealand, higher as well. Bitcoin and Ethereum down here, both in positive territory. 2% for Bitcoin, guys, back to 47,000 once again. Back over to you.
You invested in any cryptocurrencies there, Arun? Hey, Miss V, how's it going? She's getting ready. There she is. She's getting ready. She's jacked up. All right.
There. There.
You a crypto kind of guy, Arun, or what? I've never talked.
Not really.
About
I like. I'm more. I mean, I'm a futures guy, right? So I like to trade the index.
But do you hold any crypto or nah?
No, I don't.
Arun's all about this.
Money, 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 money.
You know,
money,
real.
Money, money.
Have those greenbacks, you know, instead of those.
Well, in Canada, they're
BTCs.
multicolor, but you get the idea.
There's a couple coins there for you. Congratulations to anybody that's been long Bitcoin for a while. Not Arun, but no, but you trade U.S. futures, right? So
I
it's
do,
the
yeah.
greenback. So we're going to get paid in the greenbacks there, which is why I always cheer for the Canadian dollar to go down, right? Not up. So that's why it's very important, because we're only trading U.S. equity. Arun and I on the floor here at Day Trade the World, the head office in Toronto. So welcome to the jungle. We normally, that's why in the background, you're not just that person flossing there, whoever that is on that t-shirt. Normally we're full of traders right now. Hopefully we can get back into the swing of things and you know, have some guys back on the floor. That's how we were introduced to Trader Pratt, who's coming up on Memes and Movers. Started as a prop trader. He could tell you that story on the show. Why not? Let's wait for that to come. And still is a prop trader. What are you talking about started as? Still is with us here on the floor. So that should be exciting. All currencies are worthless. Well, Canadian investor, anybody that has money would disagree with you on that one. So we'll wait to see where it goes. Whether or not it's worthless or not is definitely not the truth. Now, they may not have much of a future, which is why your boy is in cryptocurrencies. I do believe in that. As long as the Fed keeps printing money. Gold, I'm not a huge fan of gold, but I am a big fan of Bitcoin. And El Salvador took it under there as an official currency, I guess. I mean, there's some words in there that I'm throwing around, but that was as of Monday. We did see a big crash, or Tuesday. We did see a big crash come on Monday in the crypto area, and that should happen a couple more times, I would think, as long as these exchanges keep getting you know, volume problems, which I can't believe that's actually happening. We can look at Coinbase for that, but yeah, you just need to get that figured out, and hopefully those crashes are stopping.
Yep. I'm just going through the chat. It's like futures guy. The hilarious one I saw was futures guy who doesn't invest in crypto. Guys, keep in mind,
you know,
futures
I mean,
is it's a trading product. It's a vessel. It's not like I'm predicting the future. It's
oh yeah, that's right. Back to the future. With
yeah, I mean, like it's actually a product that is tradable on the actual index. Yes, it's called the futures because it expires every 3 months, and it's back in time when they were doing commodity trading. That's what they were called, but. For us, this is one way of trading the entire market as a whole. And keep in mind, talking about expirations, we are rolling over the contracts. As of tonight, we should be rolling over to the December contract. Trading, so tomorrow, tomorrow will be Friday. Tomorrow we're going to have two different contracts traded at the same time. You're going to have volume on the September contract, the U21 contract, and the Z21 contract is going to pick up some volume, as that'll be the new front month. So the December contract will be in play. For trading wise on the futures, it's going to be difficult, and I'll talk about this tomorrow when I come on as well, but trading on the futures is going to be difficult on a day when both contracts are trading, because volume is going to be a mess, because it's going to be split between the two of them. So just be aware of that. We are having a rollover tonight, both contracts in play for tomorrow, which means Monday, all the volume moves over to the December contract. Everyone's back from their vacations that they've taken, and kids are fully back in school and all that stuff. So you're gonna have volume come back on board on Monday, especially with the futures now rolling over to December. Brennan?
All right, guys, a few minutes left. Let's get a check on earnings coming up for today. Make sure you come back. Join us at 3 o'clock. I mean, first of all, Memes and Movers at 11. Obviously, we're gonna watch that, and then come back, join us at 3 o'clock. We'll talk about some of these names again. Then, guys, here's the earnings for tonight and before the open tomorrow.
I'm distracted. Oh, Affirm is in the building. Zscaler, we like Zscaler as well. Traeger, get your Traeger barbecues, as long as that was what that is, as soon as you can. The smokers, we love our smokers. And then, yeah, Kroger in the middle. I'm looking at a firm off that big deal with Amazon, so we'll talk more about that in our closing show, but I like a firm there, guys.
Yep. All right, let's keep an eye on Clover. Clover is one that we got into. Okay, Clover doesn't want to respect the 10. For now, it is back at 992 and change. As long as we got above 1010 and whatnot, we were okay with the support. We're going to leave this. Risk on this is about 30 cents. We can get 30 cents to the upside. So we're going to leave this 980 and change is going to be the support point. We're going to look on Clover. And CRDF still working their bids, okay? Around 780, we're okay with this. It's at 5 cents in the money at the moment. So we'll leave that alone and see if we can't grab anything. Futures, what do we got? Not a whole lot. We've slowed down. We really slowed down on futures. So here we are sitting at 45.25 and change. So, I mean, at this point, markets are slowing down. We know this was it was going to be a dicey day. Given how the market had moved in the pre-market, you could have argued for the high volume movement. But once we've got into the resistance levels, you could argue, you know, the resistance points, we're going to hold this market from keep that strength from keeping towards 45.30. So for now, though, we are going to just back off a little bit. Valeria?
Thank you, Arun, and hey guys, I hope you're having a great day so far. Thank you very much for spending this morning with us, and thank you for 2,100 likes. You're the most supportive and the best trading family in the world. Well, guys, if you didn't like this video yet, please do it right now. Me and Prad can wait for you to join our Memes and Movers show, and happy National Wiener Schnitzel Day, everyone.
Love some Wiener Schnitzel, to be honest with you. That's a great one. I mean, obviously we like veal parm as well, veal cutlets, back to the Italian roots there. But the way my Nana used to make them was absolutely amazing. But I do like that. So shout out to anybody eating some Wiener Schnitzel today, tonight, for lunch, whatever. I think it's a pretty good one. There we'll see what's going to be for our lunch. What are you feeling about Wiener Schnitzel there?
Honestly, the only time I've ever had it is when our caterer brought it in. Do you remember? They had it.
Yeah, I like when they bring it in.
And the few times that's the only time I've actually had it. So I mean, it's heavy. I tell you that.
Yeah, you just gotta have it with
go for a walk right after there.
Yeah,
but
have a nice
but it's
salad
delicious,
side.
absolutely delicious though. But yeah, just be mindful.
Let's see. I'm gonna say Brendan's gonna be a yes, but
We're gonna make guesses on Brendan.
Yeah, we always do.
I'm gonna say yeah. He's a sophisticated guy. It sounds like a sophisticated food. I think he'll go for it.
It's not that sophisticated, but let's go over to Brendan. What do you think?
It's fried meat.
Yes, but it's.
I mean, yes, obviously.
It's well fried, Brendan. It's breaded and
Right.
it's nicely
Sorry,
fried. I feel like that's
course.
more up your alley.
What was
If it
I
was
thinking?
like fried chicken, I don't know. But if Wiener Schnitzel, I can't even say it.
No,
properly.
yes, thumbs up.
Wiener Schnitzel.
There you
said it.
go.
Thumbs up.
There you go. All right, guys. Yeah, so that's enough about Wiener Schnitzel there on Wiener Schnitzel Day. Yeah, we are looking for a firm. It's going to be a good one. But right now, we don't have too much time left. So we're going to throw it over, man. Enjoy the show. It's Memes and Movers for Arun, Brendan, and myself, and for the whole team. Thank you for watching this show. But now we're on to another one. Let's go, Memes and Movers. Kill it, guys.
Yo, I'm your host, Trader Prad, and I got the beautiful Miss V here.
Hey guys, guess who's back? Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We're gonna trade and discuss the hottest stocks of the day. Please be active on the chat. We want you to be part of this.